All right, in just a moment, it should be up, and then we'll have 20 seconds as the intro plays. There we go.
The train headed for Sunset City.
All right, now we have 14 seconds, so I guess it doesn't matter much since I'm bringing us in.
Your mic is on, by the way.
Oh, shit.
Or it was for a second.
You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It could be scuffed. It's okay.
Good thing
It's
you didn't
okay.
say all that sussy shit like you always do when the mics are off.
It's a good thing I didn't get all political before the stream or anything, right? Welcome, everybody, to Sunset City, a Sonic podcast for the classic and modern age. On the far left-hand side, we have Channel Pup, who is here to remind me of all of my mistakes.
Hello.
And here we have Nick, who's here to exacerbate all of my mistakes.
If you guys are ever looking for like a Christmas gift for me, just like look up pizza-themed gifts, and I think I'll be good. I've been spending the last 5 minutes looking at pizza socks, and I just love the presentation of them.
And to my right, we have Wayne, who probably is one of my mistakes.
I cannot believe you said those things earlier, Suris. I'm so glad the microphone was not on for that. Oh my god, I'm never going to recover from the things that have invaded my ear holes. I don't think my mind can take the absolute absurdity that came out of your vile mouth.
Oh, whoa.
Was it anything like cummy wummy? Yeah, there it is.
And finally, everybody, we have a guest on today. If you have not seen his episodes, you probably should. They're very good long-form review content. But KingK, how you doing?
Hi. I don't exactly know how to top that, but I'm here. And I'm happy to be here, honestly. It's pretty cool.
Fair
Well,
enough.
thanks, man. If you don't mind me just asking just straight off the top, because I've always been curious, where is your name from?
Oh, this is a long.
I know it's Kingdom Clan ad.
That used to be my longer username, which was a combination of my three favorite things, which was Clan ad and anime, if anybody's heard of that. Kingdom Hearts and Klonoa. It's just a cheeky combination of all three of those things. You can find elements of it throughout. But then I realized this username is really unwieldy and stupid, and then I shortened it to KingK. Which
Well, I'm glad you didn't stick with 3 Ks, because that could have been dangerous.
I was just
Well, I realized that later, and that's part of why I changed it also. It's because when I was reading my email aloud to people, I realized the implications, and I was like, oh, God. Like, should probably change this.
You're just like, I stumbled into the yikes well, everybody.
I did that too. Like when I was a kid, my Dreamcast version of Hydro Thunder, like anytime I would make a record, like it would start in the middle or something. So like I would just flip over, just like roll through it and just put like, what's the quickest thing to go? So I can, like have you put your initials in something. So instead of like putting my proper initials down to be like, oh, well, a K is nearby, I'll put KKK. Then my uncle saw it. He's
like,
very
"No."
quick to point out that is a very bad idea. So I feel you.
Jesus. That is... there's so many different variations on just whenever you're trying to set up your initials like that people could just wind up stumbling into awkward territory.
It's just fun the way we learn that the world is terrible as children.
Dad,
Yeah.
I don't understand what this means. Can you tell me a story? Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about the last 100 years of the United States.
So anyway, we're here to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, so the last 100 years of Mobius. Got it.
Oh, that's part of the news today too. by the
Yep.
way.
That is exactly part of the news today.
Do you guys want
In,
to start with like the smaller things?
Okay, let's
think
start
so.
with the small news. So I have updated the thumbnail for episode 54. It no longer says 53 in the thumbnail, and that's your big Sonic news.
Hey, there we go.
Well, I mean, every time Ian Flynn says something anymore, people are just very, very quick to start making news articles and tweets and stuff like that. He did post a new Bumblecast today. I was listening to a little bit of it before the show started while I was preparing breakfast. And prepare to see this on Twitter pretty soon. But it sounds like we're going to be getting some proper explanation for Silver's time travel shenanigans coming down the line here. So, yeah, if they want to keep reusing the character, they got to figure out, like, shit or get off the pot there, Silver, like, sort it out. So it sounds like they're sorting it out, and it also sounds like he said on another show, someone tagged me this on Twitter, but it sounds like we're gonna get a definitive name for Sonic's World coming soon. So yeah, it's like we've been saying, like with Tales 2 and everything else, it sounds like they really are going out of the way to commit to defining all these vague things about Sonic canon and lore. All the stuff we love to argue about. It sounds like we're finally getting some definitive answers, which is going to be very nice.
Kind of like how we got the end of the Two Worlds thing with the Tales channel.
Exactly right. Yeah, I'm always going to be vouching for Mobius. I like that it's very, very tied to Sonic. I mean, that name is used for a lot of different things, but it could just be my old man Sonic brain, but it's always been tied with Sonic in some level. So I'm pushing for that. I like how unique it is. I think Sonic's World is unique, and I'd prefer it stayed that way, but we could also just get Earth. Either way, it's going to be nice to have that sorted out one way or the other.
I'll be happy for that as well. But I'm going to be honest, there's going to be an element of essential things about the Sonic fandom lost once we have those definitive answers. But then again, even with those definitive answers, there are still people who scream that that Sad AM is part of game canon. So
I mean, let's that's when Sonic completely fades into obscurity because no one's arguing about him anymore.
Sega's like, no, we've made a giant mistake. The fandom is no longer trying to kill each other. We've lost our revenue source, everyone.
And no one talks about it anymore. This podcast ends, and just like, yeah, no one knows the name Sonic anymore just because no one's bloody talking about it.
Hell, I think.
And I gotta go ahead, Wayne.
Live is turmoil.
I mean, let's be real. Like, part of it is nobody gives a shit about this stuff outside of the Sonic fan base, and nobody cares. And I was gonna say, Suris, like, what fans are you coming across that think Sad AM is canon? Because most Sad AM fans I know understand that there are different canons.
So here's the thing.
I thought that was a joke at your expense.
It's no. It's not Sad AM fans that think it's canon. It's random people who like have played Sonic and have tried, like, they've watched that show. They maybe watched an episode or two of Sonic X, and they've tried to like sandwich that show's story into stuff like Adventure 2. Like, this is
people that don't give a shit either way.
Yeah, people who are just like, oh, well, Sonic is interesting, and look at all this shit, and it's probably all connected. I'm like, no, please, no.
So just cool people then. People that haven't overthought it.
Yeah.
Regularly functioning human beings is what I'm trying to explain. But as a trading card game player, that's hard to explain.
Fair enough. King, do you have any opinions about any of this nonsense?
I mean, it's admirable that they're trying to do it. It feels like at this point it's almost like, why even bother? But I get why. I'm kind of glad, I guess, that they're doing it. You know, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, I appreciate that we got people that, you know, they've had experience. I mean, well, it's Flynn mostly. I mean, it's gonna be the other people in there too, but like, it's people that care about the franchise and have been working with Sega for quite a long time at this point. So,
I mean, it's been a while since we've had a proper. It's been a while since we had a proper Sonic Bible that didn't mention he was from Arizona.
I mean, I myself have kind of, you know, pointed out things that are kind of a bit silly about like the whole one world theory and stuff. But I'll say this much. I am glad that we are getting some geography to the Sonic universe, that this world will start to feel a bit more lived in. With that being said, we're saying this based on online social media content and maybe a little bit of like comics and encyclopedia stuff. If it's not evident in the games, it's still pretty much null and void because the games have been the main issue.
And
with like, like the whole thing is like, to understand the history of this world, you have to read the game manual. It's like, no, it should be in the game.
Oh, I agree. We're way past the point where we need to explain stuff in the game manual. You know this kind of reminds me of, awkwardly. I don't know if any of you are also like Mario fans, other than just like people who play Mario games. But there was a similar confusion with this a while back, a while meaning like 20 years ago. For some reason, Paper Mario and most other like Mario games that had established worlds called Mario's World the Mushroom Kingdom. But then when you went to Mario RPG, the Mushroom Kingdom was a location within a bigger world, and that always confused me as a freaking kid.
I mean, that makes more sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
But, like,
Right,
it's
it
Mario,
makes more
doesn't need to make
sense because, like, especially then you go into Mario and Luigi, and suddenly there's the Mushroom Kingdom and the Bean Kingdom. And I'm like, okay, which one is it? Is the world the Mushroom Kingdom, like Paper Mario's trying to convince me, or
What do these game mascots have against just Earth? It's fictional. You don't need to rationalize it as another planet.
Even the Mario movie had like a two worlds thing going on at certain points, didn't it?
Like, it's a fictional Earth. You don't need to rationalize it that much. Like, it'd be like saying Toy Story takes place on another planet because toys don't talk on planet Earth. No, duh, I accept it's fiction.
Well, no, I mean, it goes a little bit deeper than that. Like, you understand that that's an alternate Earth in Toy Story because it's grounded in Earth's reality, and therefore the toy speaking is what makes it unique and special, as opposed to everything from the ground up is wildly unique here. So I don't mind it having like a different world, like name or anything like that.
Well, especially since then they tried to like combine every Pixar movie into like one giant convoluted narrative.
The Pixar theory.
Yeah.
I feel like that's less intentional.
I see that as just a bit of fans getting creative and having a bit of fun more than anything else.
Oh yeah, but then they accepted it, I think.
I don't think they did. I don't see how they could.
I never got a clear answer on that one.
I think it just in terms of it, like there's obvious like nostalgic bias for me in terms of like growing up with this stuff. But I just like the idea at this point. It's more like if you bring in Mobius or you bring in the Freedom Fighters and stuff like that. I've said this 1,000 times, what I liked about late era Archie was Flynn taking all those elements and showing that you can make them work together. And I think that's just like the best way to put a nod, like just embracing all of the fan bases and all the different canons and things like that. It's like all of it still matters. Like nothing is irrelevant. Nothing needs to be dismissed. It doesn't need to be the main focus. Sally doesn't need to be the main focus, but it would be kind of cool, like you have on a map like Kingdom of Acorn, just somewhere shoved off in the corner, stuff like that. I think that's a lot that you could do without having to do a lot of actual legwork for a lot of the fan base. I just think with these simple little things, you really could unite the fan base. You take some of the characters a little bit more seriously, define Shadow a little bit better. Bring in elements from the different canons and say that they exist somewhere in Sonic's world. I just don't think it's that much effort, and it's not going to ruffle too many feathers, and it is going to make other people incredibly happy. So that's my opinion on it.
I think that there are some wonderful stars in your eyes when you say things like uniting the fandom. I feel as though I love Sonic. I think Sonic's fans love Sonic. I don't think anybody can be purely united on things. Like the most I've seen as a uniting thing so far has been like most people enjoying the movie. That's the closest thing
for uniting. Even more than that is people hating the original movie design.
There's
for
nothing
better or for worse, they united the fan base.
There's nothing that unites Sonic fans more than hatred. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you're always going to have nitpickers. You're always going to have people up for debate. And I see so many other people that are just like so gung-ho, like, but it's not game canon. Like that takes itself so fucking seriously. It's just...
I think it's just the simplest way that would please the most people. And I would agree, yeah.
Yeah, don't talk to them like babies when you tell your stories. Don't make Shadow just this simple, angry little thing. And yeah, like have Sonic pop by, be like, hey, how's it going, homies? And then flirt with the chipmunk and then carry on with his day.
The one way to fix this entirely, the one way to definitively fix this entirely, is to have them reference Shadow's death in Sonic Adventure 2, and then not reference Shadow coming back at all and just say he's dead. Have Sonic just visit his gravestone and be like, oh, geez, I remember the time we fucking stopped the space colony arc from crashing into Earth.
And Shadow's Shadow just in the background. I'm right here.
No, he's dead.
The way he's written now, I would honestly prefer that.
I agree.
I think we're getting closer to a better Shadow. Like even that one Twitter takeover they did, where they have Shadow just talk about like his memory of Sonic reaching out to him while he was falling down to Earth. Like that was like a huge update in his character in this simple little little joke Twitter thing that they did. I think we're slowly leading to a better future for all the fandom.
I will say this though. I think until they retcon Black Doom, Shadow is still ruined beyond repair.
So I actually don't hate Black Doom, and I'm kind of excited. Of course, Wayne. Shut the fuck up. A thing that I wanted to do on my NekoSuris channel was do a bit of a Sonic What If series, and the first obvious what if is just like, you know, what if Shadow actually died? But I wanted to keep certain things like Black Doom still there because I wanted to engineer a scenario where Black Doom is about to just, the planet's gonna be screwed. There's no way around it. But guess what happens to be on planet Earth canonically? Chow. So any threat to Chow generally summons chaos. I wanted to see Black Doom versus Perfect Chaos.
I'd really like them to explain what the fuck the Chow are.
So what you're saying is that Maria Robotnik gets killed by a singular Chow.
No, I'm just saying that in the third Sonic movie, we will definitely be seeing a body.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. I can't wait for Maria to fucking die.
They introduce the Wisp and they murder her cold blood.
They
Laser!
They retcon the gun agent that kills her to just like,
Dude,
it's Whisper's ancestor.
Dude, you could do an entire what if series of like, what if Maria was killed by the Jade Ghost Wisp? What if Maria was killed by the fucking what's the name? Like the Cube Wisp, you know?
What if Maria was eaten by Zavik?
Can we get a hashtag going? Just cap that kid.
What? No. That's awful, but also, yeah, we could.
What if
is that going to be the next thing that starts from this show that everybody embraces and nobody has any idea where it came from?
Like,
we'll cap that kid.
So what do we have as a history of that right now? We got the Weezer thing.
I love Trey and Chow mix.
They have been parroting that so much.
Well, my friend and I saw that Weezer poster at the store the other day. I was just like, hey, hold this.
Oh man, Nick, they'll explain what Chow are if you can explain what dogs are. They're wolves that we've domesticated.
But what are wolves? Where do they come from?
All right, Ken Ham.
Is that what we're doing?
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Are we gonna have like a religious battle in the Sonic universe?
Well, what came first, the Chow or the Chow egg?
Oh my god.
What came first, the Chow or the abusive parent?
Is the answer.
What came first, Knuckles or Rouge?
God damn it.
Oh boy. Yeah,
it was Rouge, but it was out of pity.
Some answers, and then it's just going to be turned into a giant religious debate: the origins of Sonic's world.
So why would Robotnik not be a religious man?
Oh God! Oh,
remember,
no,
the thing is, that was real.
I mean, so was Vector, apparently.
Oh, it's true. God damn it.
Vector is a Christian. There's no two ways about it.
Alligator Jesus is real. He can't hurt you. I got some good news for you. I converted the computer room into
a chapel.
Wait, into a chow?
No, into a chapel.
Oh, into a chapel. I was like, wait. I was going for the church thing, but how would you manage to make a chow out of a... Okay. We still don't know what they are.
Do you not believe, sir?
Find the computer room, and then salvation in Jesus.
God damn it.
In Jesus, the computer room is found.
Oh, no.
Okay, all right. What was next on the list?
Let's see.
We do have to talk about... we do have to talk about that Sonic Prime trailer. What little of it there is.
So. I guess so, yeah.
But
so that's finally happening.
We have a... I don't want to word it this way, but this is exactly how. Actually, no, Pup, you do it. The how you explained the new Sonic voice actor.
I don't want to do that anymore, to be honest.
Okay.
So I'm not going to do that. But he is okay. So originally I said I'm going to do it anyway. Hey, Mum, can we have Roger Craig Smith? Yeah, we got Roger Craig Smith at home, and I kind of. When I first heard Devon Mack's Sonic voice, that's immediately what I thought was
He's
like,
definitely going for a Roger voice.
They've got a Roger impersonator.
Yeah.
Then Devon Mack uploaded like a video of him talking about like, you know, what an honor it is to be a part of this lineage and how he's not replacing him, which I think he needed to do because like the Ryan Drummond to Jason Griffith shift, if that was anything to go by, you'd assume that it's like, okay, Devon Mack is going to be the new Sonic after Frontiers.
Yeah, because we all had that thing where like, we're like, okay, so the voices are a little bit different in Sonic X. That's fine. I can handle it. Heroes is at least somewhat close still. It's fine. It's fine. And then we got Shadow the Hedgehog. We're like, oh, they've just changed it all over. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like I think what Devon Mack did there was kind of like a nice thing and like sort of reassuring any fans that maybe didn't want to lose Roger Craig Smith or whatever. But yeah, you hear more of his Sonic voice in that video, and I was like, no, this is actually this is a solid voice. It still feels like they're trying to go for like it's the same Sonic kind of thing, you know, but like a different actor doing it, and he kind of brings his own flair to it.
Yeah, I get what you're coming from there. I think I like Devon's voice in general. He does sound a little bit more youthful, a little bit more energetic than Roger's take on the character. But I'm also, the more I go back to Sonic Boom, I like that take on the character, and I'm very excited to see Roger with a Ian Flynn script for the upcoming game.
I mean, yeah, it's not even just Boom where Roger's good. I kind of realized like Lego Dimensions Sonic, Roger's the voice of Sonic there, and he does really good. And same goes for in the OK-KO crossover. It's really in those fucking Pontac and Graph scripts that like I feel like it's almost like he's associated with a version of Sonic that people are not too fond of. And so Roger Craig Smith kind of gets death by association in a number of ways.
That was the case for
fine actor, but like what Chalmix was saying here in the chat, like I'm not gonna pretend like I wasn't excited to hear like a new take on these characters. I was kind of ready for it.
So we had that same thing with Jason Griffith in the past, though. If you remember when we first got Jason Griffith, the I don't know how much y'all were clued into like the Sonic conversations on YouTube, but the biggest criticisms for him were always he can't present much emotion. Every voiceover has to sound like this. And just over time, though, Griffith got stuff like, say, Sonic and the Black Knight, where he was able to actually have a more down-to-earth Sonic written for his character. That just wasn't the case originally, and I don't know if that came down to Jason or if that came down to the voice direction, but it's kind of the same thing we're seeing with Roger Craig Smith, where, like, there's a stereotypical way that his voice sounds that people don't like, and then they hear it in other media where he's able to emote a bit more, and suddenly they're like, oh, actually, no, I like this guy a little more. It's the exact same conversation again.
It's odd how the conversation shifted a little bit as well, though, from when Roger Craig Smith first started as Sonic. Because I remember, like, a lot of people, and I guess I wasn't as much in the Sonic sphere, what with being younger and all, I mainly heard this through, I guess, gaming journalists. But, like, the general consensus was, good thing Jason's gone, we've got Roger now, who's a much more natural-sounding Sonic. People were saying, like, Sonic Colors cutscene 4 leaks, and people were like, oh, thank God, Sonic sounds good now. And it's weird how, like, not only has it changed to a point where it's, like, we don't like that anymore, but it's also like people were going back to like Sonic Colors Ultimate and being like, yeah, no, the voice acting and stuff was very ropey in that. And it is true. I think Roger Craig Smith has only improved over time, but like it's fascinating how that conversation has changed. And I put it down to a little bit of maybe people are growing up, maybe their judgment skills are changing, or maybe Sonic fans are just like all fandoms really kind of fickle.
They're averse to change. I don't know. It's just kind of,
yeah,
I don't know, man. I was really excited for Devon's voice. I liked the little bit I heard of it, and again, I'm going off of what Chalmix has said here, because this was a point I wanted to get to too. Is if you listen to the start of Jason's voice, he sounds more like Bugs Bunny than anything.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you watch the first episode of like Sonic X, it's rough, and I love Jason.
It's rough.
I recently rewatched it, and I was like, who did they get out of the broom closet to voice Sonic?
But I've not seen that much of an evolution in Sonic or Roger's take on the character. I think
main
he's
thing
fine.
is his accent going from Colors to Generations completely kind of shit.
I mean, I guess I have to play those back to back again. I just haven't noticed that drastic of a shift. The only time I've really noticed it was like the scripts between Boom and the games is just a very different take. And I think
it does also like boil down to the dialogue, because in Sonic Colors, he's all like, "Oh, I gotta hand it to the Eggster. This place is epic," and stuff. Whereas after that, he talks normally, kinda.
I mean, like, I think if you listen to Colors, though, I think even back then in 2010, you could tell it was not teenagers and not a teenager trying to talk and write like a teenager, and it just failed completely. And I think that's part of the reason why people feel Roger sounds so old. I think he does in general. I don't think he sounds like a kid, even like an emulated kid, like a lot of cartoon shows like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I think he's a super talented voice actor. And I think there are elements of his Sonic that work really well. But to bring it back to what we're talking about, because we're talking about like a larger conversation with voice actors, I'm really excited for Devin. I'm really, really excited for Devin. I only heard a couple words out of his mouth, but they really worked for me. I like the energy and the sassiness of his 2 seconds of Sonic the Hedgehog I saw.
Yeah. I've honestly got to agree with that, which is kind of surprising, but I like.
Do we not agree on a lot of stuff?
No, I mean, like, because he kind of like, I'm not a big fan of Roger, and he's sort of sound like, you know what I mean? That's more what I meant.
No, I
dig it. I kind of dig it.
Yeah, like you can tell it's like a deeper voice, but it's still like a younger voice. Yeah, like, there's only so much you can do as a voice actor to hide that.
I mean, you wouldn't want him sounding like a kid with a squeaker voice, like, put it that way.
Well, no, not a squeaker voice. And if you had an actual teenager, you'd have to swap them out about like every 2 years,
like they did with Tails' voice actor.
I mean, to be fair, they pretty much swapped until Roger Craig Smith decided to play the role for a fucking decade. Sega might as well have just swapped out the voice every couple of years.
Yeah, he's the longest. He's played Sonic the longest out of any of the English voice actors, right?
Yeah. I think that's also one of those things, though, that, and I don't want to invalidate anyone's opinion here, but I think it's one of those things that's only exacerbated the conversation of like folks that don't like Roger, is the fact it's been around so long as well. And Sonic fans, I feel like they're kind of accustomed to things being changed up every once in a while, and we haven't had that in a decade. And it's also with the design conversation as well. What was once a perfectly good evolution of the design, which was the Unleashed one. I remember the conversation at the time was, wow, they've really nailed it this time. Now people are tired of it. And I don't know if it's
a lot.
I don't know if it's the fact that it actually has stagnated, or Sonic fans are just so used to Sega not really having a grip on what this character's meant to be that they changed it all the time. And maybe it's a bit of both. Maybe we're seeing merit in a Sega that constantly wants to change the character. I don't know.
And I stand by what I said in the chat the other day. I really wish the games would just start going in a more cel-shaded direction and go for a more like artsy kind of design rather than just the basic like marketable
3D models.
Mario. Yeah. It's taken a few too many pages from Mario's book, in my opinion, and I just don't think that his current design is very interesting to look at. And I think with the amount of attitude that Sonic is supposed to exude, what I would want is something that I think I kind of compared it to Spider-Verse. I want to see that level of like creativity in the way that it's portrayed.
Well, okay, before we kind of jump on Sonic's design, does anyone have anything further to say about the new voice cast? Because there is more than just Devin Mack as well. We've got a list of people, but we don't necessarily know how they're playing.
We don't know who Brian Drummond. Yeah, we don't know who he's playing yet, but
he's a mystery person. Excited. Who is he?
Whoever he's the original voice actor for Vegeta, English voice actor.
He's also gotten to play Vegeta again in recent years.
Because when I first saw that, I was like, who are they getting Brian Drummond to play? Oh, Brian, never mind.
Yeah, no, Brian Drummond. Different one, but his Vegeta is still solid, because in freaking in Dragon Ball Super, when we actually get the Vegeta copy as an enemy, and it's Brian Drummond providing the voice of the copy. Like, I want to see him do Shadow. I'm with you entirely.
I don't want him to do the Weasley Vegeta voice for Shadow.
No, but I want to see him do Shadow, because he's good at that archetype of character.
You like just when, like, I always get in arguments over like Vegeta voice actors. I think Sabat is fantastic, and as the art style evolved through the show, and his voice, like when he finally found like his take on that character. I think it really worked for that older, more mature Vegeta, but that shitty Weasley early version of Vegeta works so well with Drummond's take on the character.
When I was a kid, I straight up thought that they had just gotten older and that's why the voices changed.
You know,
it just made sense.
You know something I find really funny though, actually, like look in the conversation of voice actors and stuff, is so like let's just look at like the 3 modern Sonic TV shows since Sonic's been able to talk in games. We've had Sonic X, Sonic Boom, and Sonic Prime. Now, the funny thing that Sonic Prime and Sonic Boom have in common is their claim to fame is that they both have the Prime Sonic, the main Sonic, no character maintenance, no offshoot universe, and those 2 are the ones that didn't have the game cast to do the voice, yet Boom, the offshoot universe, did.
That's true. It's very true. Yeah, just to get back on Drummond though, real quick though. I mean, just like I know I'm more talking about Vegeta at this point. Like I've seen a lot of people argue that like, well, his take wouldn't have worked later on in the show. And I think that goes to show like how important voice direction is, because when they did the actual Ocean dubs, those were terrible, and his Vegeta just didn't hold up as well. But like you look at the early on stuff, I think he could have done enough fluctuation in the voice where it would have worked just fine. That said, I doubt he's going to be playing Shadow. A lot of people were like assuming that he's going to be playing Eggman. I think he probably is.
That's going to be weird. So, is it confirmed that Mike Pollock is not Robotnik in this series?
Yeah, no, this is a purely Canadian voice acting.
That's going to be really strange. Now,
I mean,
like,
I'm ready to hear a new take on Eggman, to be honest.
That's right. You don't like Eggman that much, do you?
Listen.
I like Mike Pollock, but I will never understand Mike Pollock over Dean Bristow personally.
Yeah, Dean Bristow was like peak Robotnik to me.
I love Bristow, especially his delivery on things like "yush" and "yush." But the thing is, the reason I loved Bristow is the reason I love a lot of stuff in Sonic. It's not that it's good. It's that it's memeable. Whereas when I look at Dr. Robotnik, the voice of Mike Pollock is just the voice that would come out of that character. That's, you know...
At this point, it is for me, too.
It's not even just that. Like, before I'd played Sonic Unleashed, I'd never really heard these characters talk before. And as soon as Robotnik opened his mouth, I was like, that is exactly what he would sound like. That's perfect.
I also don't like the current design for Robotnik either, but that's not here nor there.
I disagree with you on that one.
I still hear Bristow, and I still think Eggman would be better as a villain that takes himself seriously instead of a stupid goofball that I don't enjoy watching.
But is that Pollock's problem, or is that the script?
That's both. I don't think Pollock has a lot of range. I think that Sonic and Tails got to toy with that a bit. But yeah, that's a whole other discussion. I'll get into that more another time.
I still think, in terms of like, if we're gonna be talking about like the current voice acting team for Sonic, I really think it's gonna be a make or break with this upcoming script for Frontiers. I really do. For everybody involved. Like I'm really rooting for Ian Flynn, but ultimately, because I see a lot of the same problems in Unleashed, whether people want to admit to them or not, as I do in Colors. And I think a lot of it's going to come down to, again, Sega management. So if they allow Flynn to properly write these characters, I think you're going to see, and it's going to again come down to voice direction. I think you're going to really see a little bit more range in these tried and true voice actors as well. I'm interested to see what the conversation is once that game's out. I'm really, really interested to see what this VA conversation is like.
Oh, sorry. One thing I just want to quickly clarify as well is what I said about Dean Bristow earlier. He is good in a lot of areas, but also it's sometimes just when his delivery is really just funny. That's when I think he shines the most.
I think he shines the most when he's being a threat. But then again, we literally can't get him back without necromancy.
There's one line in like Sonic Adventure 2 during I think one of the final stages aboard the Ark where he just like says to Sonic, "You're not going to make it out of here alive." And I was just like, "Oh man, where's that delivery been this whole time?" That was amazing.
It was in Adventure 1 when he said he would make mincemeat out of Tails.
You know, there's a funny story I have about that line.
Oh?
As a kid, that delivery was so different. I legit thought it was a different person, and I was always really confused about that line because it did not sound like him at all. And I'm like, who is that? Like,
Yeah, there was like just a drastic shift in that tone for that one.
yeah.
I've also I've loved the bad sound mixing and what it does to the audio in that game as well.
Oh yeah,
it sounds like Robotnik's just going like all systems food color.
You know what was one of the okay, so there's one line delivery I'm remembering from Bristow a lot now for some reason. It's when you're in Crazy Gadget and he does the whole like, you'll never make it out of here alive. Ha ha.
I
Like,
just said that. That's
but
exactly
the ha
what
ha
I
part
just-
though. The ha ha part is the part that sounds weird as fuck to me.
Everything before that is fine. The haha sounds less like he's laughing, more like he's just like, I'm going to emulate laughter for the sake of mockery.
I like he. That's always made me chuckle every time because they just have that voice clip when he just dips off in the egg viper. Like he'll do something, then haha, and then he just leaves.
He doesn't find it genuinely funny. He just wants you to think he does.
That was the because like when you were mentioning it, it kind of unlocked that memory of like, wait, why did he have that superimposed laugh at the end there?
For me, peak Bristow Eggman is just anything in the Chow Garden where he's just like, Yosh, while petting him. What is he even saying there? I thought they accidentally had like a Japanese line in there or something, but like when he chucks him, goes.
I mean, they just didn't properly translate it. They just had. Well, they said it in the original script. You say it too.
I just like the idea that some voice director sat down with Dean Bristow and was like, okay, yeah, he's a genius, but he's also a fat fuck. So what would a fat fuck sound like?
I think you're giving them too much credit. Like somebody sat down with them. That script, I mean, just the Yosha in there alone just told me, even back then, like they did not.
They're just like, hey, you are a fat dude who's just been served dinner. Yosh, you're a fat dude getting up out of his chair.
Crying now.
I don't know. I love most of what Bristow was doing. Like him, like just going on about how proud he is of his stupid egg carrier. Him like. When he gets into those growly moments, especially in SA1, or even just kind of the way they wrote him as a character, I want the Eggman back that like holds Amy's at freaking gunpoint.
You can do that with Pollock. You absolutely can do that with Pollock.
I just like I can't take Pollock's Eggman seriously.
The closest,
what about
the closest
Sonic
we
Tails
get.
R or Forces? He's pretty serious.
Actually,
in Forces.
there's a scene. Sonic
I never
Lost
took him
World.
seriously in Forces. I just see a goofball. That's all that I associate that character with now.
In Sonic Lost World, though, the scene where he goes off on the Zeti, where he like just almost breaks his hands. The whole like, as long as they can strangle a Zeti, my hands are fine.
Oh,
like,
he was fantastic.
That line made me go, okay, we can actually get some like Set AM SA1 threatening Eggman out of Pollock.
Well,
and we didn't get any of that.
They don't do anything with it.
Well, that's the thing is also, like, while I do say that Robotnik isn't quite as much played up for laughs in, like, Forces, it's one of those things where I do wish we brought a bit more of, like, Lost World Eggman's performance to Forces. I think that would have been even better. I mean, also, just 06 Robotnik is pretty fucking scary.
I thought he was.
Well, I think I said the other day that, like, 06 is my favorite performance from Pollock as Eggman.
Of course.
For me, it's Unleashed and Lost World tied, and if we're looking unofficially, then R.
He is good in Unleashed. I do like him in Unleashed. It's just like, man, I think I just don't like silly Robotnik at all. And I know everybody else does because that's just what this franchise is now. Is everything's a freaking comedy.
I mean,
but it didn't used to be, and
I would say
he kind of was. He's
if you look at his character design, especially his old one, there's no way that was intended to be an entirely serious character.
I mean, his old character design, he was literally supposed to be a protagonist too.
But he did always have a sense of menace. Like, I mean, just think about like Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Like, that is a terrifying man right there.
But then, how often is Robotnik without menace in the new games? And I'm gonna say
most of the time.
Like, I mean, no, he's still doing bad things. He's still you still wouldn't want to run into him in real life.
Well, yeah, but like it's like there are cartoon portrayals of the Joker, for instance, that I think make it harder to take the character seriously, and there are some that I'm like, okay, no, I don't want to be in a room with you. You need to go be away forever. I think with Eggman, with Pollock's Eggman, there are times where I see him more goofy, and then there are times where I see him as more threatening. Lost World, 06, the Adventure Series doesn't count here because that's not when he voiced. Those are times where I think he's more threatening, but like in Sonic Heroes, for instance, that's a goofy freaking Eggman.
I think the only time I've seen him as just pure goof has been in the Sonic Boom series, and that is because he was much more just a dastardly neighbor that wants to be a supervillain than anything else. But
no
like
villains here.
it's a complete reimagining in that case. So
there should just be a better balance. Like, I don't want to get rid of the silliness because he was silly even in Adventure 2 when he scratches his ass and stuff. But like,
I love that.
I just feel like it's imbalanced right now a little bit personally, and I don't know. I think he could.
No, I agree with that because I'm like, because there were those silly elements there before, but it's just I think there's a little more subtlety to it, and it didn't undermine him as a character. Whereas I feel like he's just like the funny punching bag now.
Well, I mean, we're going off of like games that just have existed. We have not had a new game proper for like 5 years at this point.
I think what does kind of eliminate like what should be a good part of the conversation being Sonic Forces is like, because Sonic Forces is supposed to be the game where you take Robotnik seriously again, and like he doesn't actually really crack many funnies. It's mainly just, well, no one cracks a fucking funny in that game, but okay, Orbot and Cubot crack some things that are supposed to be funnies. The problem with it is, I think if it were written better, if it were written in a way where we actually felt like Robotnik had actually won, and the reasoning behind it actually felt convincing, people would probably have much better things to say about this for a more sinister Robotnik, because he's literally taken over the entire world. But you can't believe it because the game doesn't give you a reason to believe it. Like,
a lot of it does come down to presentation.
He kind of just took over the world just cuz, like.
Let's take a look at something that unfortunately we don't have Pollock to really work off of here, is the comics. Like, I think that's a good balance. I really do think Flynn has a good idea of the balance between a silly Eggman and a very sinister Eggman.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's just a nice mixture of the two depending on the situation, because shocker, people can be more than one thing. And I really do think that balance can be struck. And I think Pollock can pull it off, personally, and I'm excited to see if they allow him to in the upcoming game. But regardless of what's nice about right now for us is like we have 3 different versions of the character for like all of these characters. Like we have so much stuff coming up for this franchise, and we could just debate which one's best, and we can have like 3 different renditions. I'm hoping they're at least a little different between the 3 of them. Like Jim Carrey's is not the exact same as Pollock's, obviously. And I'm hoping that Prime, while it does sound like, at least with Sonic, it does sound like they're trying to do like Roger a little bit. I really do hope they go off and do their own thing so we can, just have a nice variety.
That's another funny thing is Jim Carrey is arguably the most comedic actor to play Dr. Robotnik, and he's probably the one that jokes around the most as well. Yet, I think in some ways he's also one of the more intimidating ones because of just how condescending he is and how irredeemably evil he is.
I think that's part of the because I'm a little on and off on Carrie's.
I am too.
I think I was a little more irritated with some of his lines in 2 than I was in 1. But I didn't need to see him flossing.
I think he got away with some of that stuff because he's Jim Carrey. If they put more of Jim Carrey's elements into Eggman, I think all of us would have a lot more problems with that characterization.
But then it's like one of the things I liked about him in the comic, like the prequel comic, was he left that message for Stone, and he's talking about humans as if he is so above them that they might as well be a different like species than he is. Like little touches like that where it's like, this is an unhinged like evil man, and he's a total goofball, but like he is a menace.
The funny thing there is, though, he's achieved a lot less than Pollock Robotnik ever did.
That is true, yeah.
And yet
But
he's
again-
more kind of intimidating just because there's such a disconnect between him and any semblance of humanity.
Yeah, again, a lot of that just comes down to presentation. It's a lot of that worked for me. I don't think there are very few moments from the games I can think of that reach the same level as like seeing the robot get back up like from a dust cloud in the background. Like that was one of the most intimidating Sonic.
Oh
visuals
yeah,
I've
like
seen.
for me, the absolute best of Kerry's Robotnik was the entire time he was inside the big egg Robotnik or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
He's better when he's winning and not when he's on the back foot.
Yeah, but even like comedic moments such as him dancing the funky chicken inside the egg Robotnik and the giant mech is also dancing the funky chicken. I was just like, you do not get that in the games.
I just
Yeah.
like that we have so many different choices out there. I'd still say if I had a like gun to my head, if I have to pick a favorite Sonic, it's still gonna be Ben's Sonic currently.
Ben Schwartz, he's got a good portrayal of that character.
I
Yeah.
really like his take on the character. I really
It's
do.
different. It feels different to me, but I also really like it. I guess that's how I feel about Jim Carrey as well. I guess they're like they have sort of a new spin, but also reminds me of some of the older stuff that I liked. So I'm
The spirit's there, yeah. I agree.
I think my
Me,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Pup.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, the voices to me are, like, kind of, in a way, superfluous. Like, I like all the voices and I like all the voice actors so far, anyway. You know, we have yet to have a Sonic voice actor that I haven't liked. But
I got
when-
a shadow voice acting stint I don't like.
Well, when it comes down to it, I would say Ben, but it's purely because, well, it's the Sonic he's playing. Like, if we got to hear Roger play a bit more of a fleshed out version, one that's as fleshed out as Ben's Sonic, you know, I dare say I would, you know, say Roger just as much. But, you know, like, it's one of those things where you can't just have Roger Craig Smith play Ben Schwartz's Sonic. I don't think that would work. But you'd need a Sonic that is fleshed out. And I'm glad we've got Ian Flynn working on the games now.
I just don't like how breathy Roger's take is. It just sounds like he's gonna, like there's like a cough or something at the end of every one of his lines. I don't know what it
say,
is.
in that case, they should actually include it. Have it so that Sonic is always coughing. Just make him smoke.
Do you
Make
want
him-
General Grievous the Hedgehog? Is that what you want?
I want to look. Sonic's supposed to be cool, okay? So let's just have him pop out a cigarette. You know?
Oh, so we're
I
gonna
mean, that's the
really
big
get that
pop-
Chow Mix meme. That's exactly what we're gonna be getting.
I love that picture
People-
so much. I've
So weird how that was a meme for a while there.
I've said it a million times. That fucking Chow Mix drawing of Sonic with all of the cigarettes is hilarious. It has no right to be that funny.
Sonic was the one to pop a cap in Maria.
It was me, Shadow, all along.
it was me, Shadow.
So Devon Mac, we've all said our piece on Devon Mac.
Well, I mean, for Mac, sure, but like, I don't know too much about the other voice actors outside of Brian Drummond specifically. Are you guys familiar with any of these other people?
Not
No.
personally, no.
Well, yeah, I haven't met any of them, that's for sure.
King, we've just been talking over you this entire time. Did you have any like real like final thoughts on like any of the voice acting blabbering we've been doing?
First and foremost, any replacement for Shadow, I'd be okay with at the moment. Everybody else is kind of like, you know, I think Devon's pretty cool, and if Eggman is Brian Drummond, I'm not too familiar with his like, because when I watched Dragon Ball, it was like a few years ago with Chris
Sure.
Sabat. So, but I've watched some clips, and I'm like, yeah, he could do like, I would be into that as Eggman, you know.
I've got a bit of a hot take, I guess. I really like Kirk Thornton as Shadow, and I don't get it. I don't get what it is people don't like.
this
This is Pup. Man, you always have a contrarian opinion, but you know what? Like,
I can quantify it.
you can quantify it, and then like whenever we give you shit, or when the internet gives you shit, like as soon as like a bigger YouTuber says something, then suddenly it's like, oh, it's not that unpopular of opinion anymore, is it?
This always
You know,
happens. I hate.
I respect it. I respect it. I don't agree, but I do respect it.
But then, given that you're a bigger YouTuber and you respect it, then surely that can influence everyone else, right?
Yes.
I mean-
let us use those parasocial relationships.
let me explain. Let me explain, all right? I think Sonic Forces and the Sonic Twitter takeover prove that Kirk Thornton can do a really solid Shadow. And, okay, so I feel like the worst of Thornton's Shadow is probably in, like, Free Riders. I mean, that's the worst of
I
literally
think that's
everything.
the worst of everybody. Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
fucking
when they all started.
it's a fucking disaster, that game. But like his shadow in that game was clearly portrayed as more of a he's a sleazy fucking git. And I tell you what he reminds me of, and I don't think that this guy's a sleazy git, but I tell you who he reminds me of. He reminds me of Barry Weiss from Storage Wars. You guys know who I'm talking about there?
What?
No.
I don't know what that is.
Nope. I know what that is, but I don't know who that is.
Well, anyways, he's just kind of a Mr. Cool.
Sorry
But,
for the helicopter over my house. Jesus Christ! I think that's
wow,
like an Air
that's
Force.
loud.
shit.
Oh wow.
No
I think,
food or
I think
music.
I
Yeah,
live next to an airport. That's where I learned.
Blaring
Yeah.
Flight of the Conchords.
Me and Pup are going in the exact same direction here.
But yeah, no, so yeah, basically Sonic Forces and Sonic Twitter Takeover have convinced me that Kirk Thornton is a great Shadow, and I'd like to hear more of him.
I think it's convinced me he's got range.
Who was doing him in Sonic Boom?
Kirk Thornton.
Kirk.
Yep.
It's a very different performance in that, and it's a very different Shadow.
Yeah,
It's a
but
very
what's-
stereotypical Shadow in there, and I think
What's
that's on purpose.
weird?
he
What's
sounded like a
weird-
side. He sounded like a side character in Ratchet and Clank.
Well, what's weird is that that version of Shadow or that performance kind of carried over to Team Sonic Racing for some reason.
Mm. I don't
It's
like
because
that.
I think it's like distilled down to what Sega wanted those characters to be.
I will say that I've never heard a rendition of his that was good, but I'm also like not, maybe it's just the way they direct him or how he's written, but I'm like the least inclined to believe that with Kirk Thornton.
I think
Yeah.
my issue with him isn't the direction. My issue with him is just the actual physical voice itself. I don't like. If I'm being honest, I want either Griffith or Humphrey back as Shadow. They
I really love Jason's take on Shadow. I like him more than his Sonic.
they sound less like cartoon characters and more like people, and I like
sound like-
that.
I don't know about that.
If
It's like
anybody's
anime
ever,
By comparison, by order of degrees,
Sure.
Yeah.
More less like a Western cartoon character, but still like anime.
oh, somebody said it in chat too. Has anybody heard Syx from Kingdom Hearts?
I don't remember.
Because he's also voiced by Kirk Thornton. And I think honestly that's like the best bet is if he was more like Syx, sort of.
Yeah. Can he?
But
yeah,
even then it'd be a little, I don't know.
Can he run around with a sword too?
I mean,
No, but he can run around with a gun.
If anyone's allowed to do like just goofy ass just weeb shit, it should be Shadow. I'd be down with that.
Oh yeah.
Here's like something that's always bothered me, and I think this is why it's never completely sold me on Shadow, is like I've never believed a rivalry between Roger's Sonic and Kirk's Shadow. And I think that is so incredibly important for those
I've always
characters.
seen it as more playful.
Sure, and that's probably in the place of where they are in their friendship, relationship, whatever the hell it is.
It should be a relationship. I want him to be gay.
For whatever. But
Joe
I'm not
Rogan
even-
obviously
podcast.
Jason's gonna do like the best when he's playing opposite himself. But yeah, man, like maybe it's just because we haven't had too many opportunities to listen to the two of them bicker or be in the same room together. But the few times they have, I just like it's not there for me, man. It's just not doing it for me. I don't know.
what I want
yeah.
to see more
just
of
watch
is
the
when
TV.
they like in the IDW and they're helping the Avalanche and they both smile. I just need more of that in my life. Like,
I mean, yeah, in general, we just need better. Like, we need the two of them in scenes together. I think we just need more stuff in general.
I think
Listen, like,
So
at
what
this
you're
point,
saying
but-
is we need Dr. Starline to bring them together.
I think someone should
if written well, yes.
Yeah.
someone should take all of the audio from the Batman and animate it, but instead of Batman and Catwoman, it's Shadow and Rouge, and that would be great.
I think we're going to be seeing an influx, and I hope to God this is the case with Knuckles. But I think the popularity of the movies is going to help dictate what happens with some of this stuff going forward.
Yeah.
I'm really, really hoping with the popularity of Sonic 2, they re-up what Knuckles should be in terms of a more fleshed out character and his lore.
Wait, why are
and
people calling stuff?
gameplay.
What's going on here?
And I hope they do the same with Shadow once movie 3 comes out.
I mean, even just in that animated opening or that animated portion of the trailer that they showed us for Sonic Origins, I'm like, the way Knuckles moves and acts and everything just feels right. Like
I mean, like that's already putting trust in me because like they had Flynn script how those are going to go, and it is no like everybody knows how huge of a Knuckles fan he is, and I think that's going to be shown even in those silent cutscenes.
Not as much of a fan as Penders.
Penders is a fan of himself. That's why he likes Knuckles.
Penders likes Knuckles because of what Knuckles can deliver to him. Ian likes Knuckles because of what Ian can give to Knuckles.
Knuckles was formerly in an abusive relationship with Kenneth Penders, and now he's moved on, and he's in a much healthier place with Ian Flynn. Make Knuckles gay.
Jesus.
King, I gotta ask you. It's been a little bit since I've re-upped on your video. You have amazing videos, but I don't remember specifically your particular favorites. Like SA2 is your favorite of the games, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why they call you King.
It is my favorite, but I'm under no impressions that it's like peak of what Sonic could be, which is kind of frustrating to me. But
maybe
regardless of what the general quality or opinion of any of that stuff is, just specifically like your personal preferences, is Shadow your favorite of the characters?
Yeah.
Okay.
King.
There's a lot of that around here.
I mean, he as a child, what can I say? He started my I don't think I've ever left my edgy phase. I'm just into that shit still. So and it's because of him. So I just don't think I can ever,
That's where I'm
attach myself.
I'm a bit weird in that I definitely didn't grow up with the Dreamcast era, and I only became a Shadow fan at like age 22.
I mean, I grew up with the Genesis games, so I was a teenager when I was becoming a teenager when SA2 was coming out. But just design alone, I love Dark Mirror characters. I'm always gonna wish that they had more of a tie between Sonic and Shadow. But I also respect that, he was his own thing, and they fully embraced the cheesy, corny, dark edginess of the character.
Yeah,
and I think bringing some of that back wouldn't be a bad thing. I really do hope they embrace what makes Shadow.
I just like that deep down he's just a gentle little Scrimblow Scrongle, and
he spends most time in the Chow Garden. I'm betting that is canon.
I want more of that to come to the surface with him as a character. Is that he's actually just a really sweet dude.
I don't care what anybody says. The IDW, he raised that Shadow Chow.
He did.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yep.
That's his Chow.
Well, considering that he was literally the one that was just like, Amy, come over here and break this man's kneecaps. Like, you have to think, Shadow's the type of person who's like, no. Because of what you did, you're beneath me, but I still know how to make you suffer.
Someday we're going to have I just need to put this into a script, but there's a lot of conversation needs to happen about Amy as well. I think a lot of it is focused around Shadow and the fan base, but I think a big hearty discussion at some point needs to happen about Amy Rose, because there is no more of a drastic character shift than her. I think
I love the character she's become. I
like who she used to be. I liked old Amy. That girl knew what she wanted, and she went for it.
Yeah, I hate this woke age of entertainment where women have personalities.
Sonic, after I beat the shit out of you, you'll have no choice but to marry me.
Yeah.
You know what? I liked that too.
I did too. I'm sorry. I would love a love triangle where Amy is all about Sonic and Shadow is just kind of into the hammer wielding woman that knows what she wants.
Actually, come to think of it, though, let's reverse.
We're getting Twilight the Hedgehog now.
I would love it that Sonic has a crush on Shadow, Shadow has a crush on Amy, Amy has a crush on Sonic.
No, but you know
I'd
what
be into it.
they should do like an alternate universe where Sonic is the one that's like, Amy, I'm going to incapacitate you, and then you're going to marry me. And then Nick can just be like, he's just a guy that knows what he wants.
It's just your grandpa.
Oh man.
And this is
how
how my
love was back in my day.
I asked her out every day until eventually she said yes.
I wore her down.
I'm gonna evolve Aiden's joke here. Amy Heard. That's what we're gonna call her.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no.
Oh no.
My wife had to get a lobotomy before she'd marry me.
Oh my god.
What?
So the animation. What did you guys feel about it?
I'm glad. So I'm torn. On the one hand, I'm really happy we have the 3D animation because I wasn't a huge fan of the Sonic Colors animated videos in terms of like how they looked. Like there was a part of me that kind of liked it because I liked that lineless Samurai Jack feel, but on the other end, it looked like an awkward Flash cartoon still. I didn't want that for a whole series, so I'm happy we don't have that, but I don't know how I feel about us just having the game graphics, but Sonic has shoulders. I don't know. I'm torn.
I feel like my opinions of it are fairly basic right now, just because we need to see more. There's not really a lot to go off of yet. And so it kind of gets into that territory where we're all picking apart like tiny little snippets of it, because that's all they've given us, and I just need to see it in motion.
It's the most frustrating part for me is that it's like 8 seconds, and I'm like, could you have given us a little more? Because this is just what causes everybody to explode, is that there's only like 8 seconds of it, and then there's this huge war because I don't even know how I feel about it, to be honest, because I barely even know if this is representative of, like, I don't know.
There's nothing to chew on.
I feel the trailer itself, just like a bigger picture conversation real quick. I feel like the trailer itself was, I mean, it was mostly just really well put together, but I feel like it was in response to all the news Netflix has been receiving, because they've had a huge backlash.
Oh, I think so too. Like, they need Sonic now. Like,
well, I think like just in general, like I'm not even talking about the Sonic portion. I'm talking about like the trailer in general was them being like, oh no, we got animation coming, we promise. But I do like that they treated Sonic Prime as like the big final reveal at the end of it there. I do appreciate that. It does tell me that a bigger picture, because it is Netflix, a bigger picture that Sonic is a big stinking deal, and they understand that probably not even just our fan base, but a lot of people are really hyped for a new Sonic show. That said, I'm also torn. I know Pup's going to probably share some of his grievances with some things he saw, and
he's going to shoulder all of our grief.
But
I thought it was perfect. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
But like the positives I could take away from it was I liked Devin's voice. I liked his sassiness, the little we saw of it. I love seeing game elements. We've never had Green Hill Zone in any of the shows, and I know that it's overplayed now, but that is all I wanted as a kid. Instead of just the Great Forest or whatever the fuck Adventures was. I wanted more game elements, and I'm getting game elements, and that means the world to me. That said, this looks unfinished. Like, like I know that the games that the rings just disappear, but even then, like there's still like little glitteries in the old Genesis games when you run by them. There is nothing there. And I've seen other people like point out that he looks like he's floating a little bit. It doesn't look finished. So I'm hoping that they still have to touch up some effects, because I have a feeling there's a reason why they only showed us 8 seconds. And anybody who does any kind of editing whatsoever, you can hear that horribly chopped section in the audio there. It's really rough.
This is why it would really be beneficial if we just had more stylization. I'm just saying.
I mean, just do even a fade out and then cut back in there. Like, what was that?
We could just hire Wayne as editor for Sonic Prime.
I remember when Pup like threw the images our way, just kind of showing the pictures from it. I legit thought they were fan renders before I saw
I did too.
logo.
Yeah, I like the animation. I like how smooth it is, but yeah, it looks like a fan
Yeah.
render to me.
Yeah, animation is fine. It's the visual style that I kind of have a grievance with. Now, Pup and I are kind of differing on like one particular element of the models, but for the most part, I do agree. It's just I don't think it looks complete, and I really would have rathered if they'd just gone for a little more visual flair instead of like this kind of half measure. I don't know if anybody here saw like DreamWorks for a while was doing a lot of animated series based off their more popular movies like Kung Fu Panda, How to Train
It
Your
was in
Dragon,
this
and stuff like
trailer.
that. Oh, well, yeah, there you go. Well, they had them like airing on like Nickelodeon or something like that, and I remember seeing an episode or two of the Kung Fu Panda series and just like seeing the stark difference between the budget that they had for the Kung Fu Panda movies versus going into that 3D animated series, and it's just
Right.
like, man, you might as almost well have just gone for a different visual style altogether instead of like doing this version of the movie that doesn't quite
You're getting
capture.
yeah, it's the PS2 version of the fucking
That's
movie.
exactly what it is, and this feels like the PS2 version of like modern 3D Sonic.
Yeah, I think the budget speaks for itself. I mean, Sonic is still a big property. It's not that big. I mean, even compared to the other shows that they were showing off in that trailer, it looks pretty rough in general comparatively, because there's some like yeah, you saw some DreamWorks stuff and you can see like the budget has upped a lot in a lot of the shows there, but then there's also like 3D shows in that trailer that are like so stylistically different that they can get away with not doing like super hyper detail, but it still looked really good on its own terms. So yeah, I'll leave the floor to Pup because I know you have a lot to say specifically about certain aspects.
Trying to kind of nuance and articulate kind of well here, because I realize how this can come across. Because there's going to be a lot of talk of Sonic's arms, and I just want to point out, I'm aware that this is quite a bit of a nitpick, but I do still think it's something that shouldn't be shelved from conversation altogether. Because don't worry, I'm not about to go mace a GameStop employee over this. But in terms of like Sonic, I think he looks a little off model. And there are things that I like about him, and there are things that I really don't like about this design. Like, for one thing, I think they've made the hands a bit more well proportioned. I like that he's got nice long quills, unlike some of the recent game things. Quillgate doesn't really bother me, but like, still, it's nice to see some long quills in there. I really like the texturing on him as well. I like the sort of little quilly texture he's got, kind of taking a little inspiration from the films. He's a nice color. Like, yeah, there's stuff that I do like about it. It's mainly that Sonic, when he's, I feel, done right, there's a lot of nice sort of curves to him, really nice sort of Bezier curves that are not quite right here to me. Like, his arms are kind of like these little noodles and stuff. And if you've seen a lot of like the design discussion when it comes to Sonic, people often like take the official renders, make his arms a little more loose, a little more noodly, more rounded in how they curve and everything. And I feel like what we're seeing here goes in the opposite direction, in that he's got like his arms are kind of trying to do a nice round curve, but they're kind of stiff looking, and they're kind of uneven. Like, they're not these straight little noodles now. They kind of get bigger around the elbows. And one thing Wallace was saying is, well, that kind of emulates kind of a muscle tissue kind of thing or something along those lines. And I was just like, I don't think that works at all for Sonic. And I think that was the biggest problem with the first film design, was trying to rationalize Sonic's limbs. It doesn't look right to me. I think they should be noodles. Another positive thing is they've given him shoulders, and like Boom Sonic and Movie Sonic, one of the things that allows them to articulate as well as they do is those shoulders. But I don't think they work if you're not going to make the arms blue, which I realize would kind of defeat the object of this being Prime Sonic, if you're going to start really changing up that design. But if you're going to give him shoulders, I think you've got to sacrifice that. So overall, I feel like I guess I would have liked it better if they stayed truer to the look of the games. But I'm also open to the fact that this could just be a very quickly put together little piece of animation, and they haven't maybe done all of the tweening to certain bits. So I don't know if I'm using the right word there. Wayne will know more about that than I do. But like, it looks just a little unpolished. And that's not something where it's like it's a low budget thing, because I think Boom had a bit more polish than this, even if the render quality was quite a bit inferior, particularly in the second season. But yeah, this is all just analysis stuff. If you just want my basic opinion, I'm just looking forward to it.
No, I agree with you. I think the overall animation is what I've been wanting from Sonic. I like seeing him move about a little bit more. Like he was doing something different with each word out of his mouth in the few seconds we saw him. I like that about him. And I do think he needs to be a little bit more fluid, a little bit more loosey-goosey. But yeah, I agree with you. Just bluntly, this feels like a 2010 show. It doesn't feel like a 2022 show.
And
It feels like the CG shows that were just like still kind of getting their budget, like not as bad as like the early 90s stuff.
Not like Donkey Kong, the legendary show.
Oh, that show was fucking amazing.
But like you can still see the budget in there. It looked like we were just talking about the old Kung Fu Panda show. Compare that to the new show, right? It's just like CG is to a point now, even in animation on television, where it's like it's doing its own thing and it looks good in its own right. This does look like, to bring back the meme that Pup said earlier, this does to me look like Sonic at home.
Yeah, and like, you know, I know a lot of people are going to kind of say, like, what do you know about animation and stuff? When I was a kid, I used to literally download the Sonic video game models, put them in Cinema 4D, and make little renders with them. And there was always this little joint around the elbow where it's like, if you moved just the joint without moving this little extra variable, it would just be a very tight turn. And then you'd have to turn this slight variable to get that nice sort of noodliness to it. This animation looks like the renders I did before I discovered how to use that noodle variable, basically. That's I think maybe why I'm more drawn to this, is because it's like, oh, that looks familiar. That looks like something I did. And if your 3D animation looks like something I did, that's not very good.
Yeah, I mean, we only have a few seconds to go off here, and I already see people like getting super defensive about it. But I'm sorry, I'm just using my eyeballs here. Like those arms look non-committal to me. Like they don't look like a finished product. It looks.
Also, like I'm trying to kind of refrain from like, because if I were to go just bias and say, oh, I wanted it to be like this, I would say I'd like it to be like the animations from like the Sonic Origins trailer, but with the modern designs. But like, you know, I accept this what it is, and I do just want to note, Sonic fans. Again, not every criticism is necessarily going to be an attack on Sonic. I know that we're all a bit upset by how gaming journalists treat this guy.
Sonic didn't buy your Christmas presents. Don't defend him like he's your dad.
You don't need to go to bat for a fictional character that probably makes more money than you'll ever see in your entire lifetime. Okay.
I think overall I'm happy. I'm happy, but yeah, like I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't notice what Pup was talking about there. I think your description in your video was on point, where it looks like a tooth. It looks like a toothpaste tube that is like halfway used, kind of like that. You saw that a lot in earlier 3D models with stuff. It was just something that came with the territory. That's what I'm talking about here. I don't know the definitive terms that you could use there, but it doesn't feel as good as it potentially could.
Can we just have a 3D Sonic show where the Sonic model is made out of nothing but linked primitives?
Potentially. I will say this,
is
like,
some kind of sausage?
because I see a lot of people doing it's not the same as the cutscenes. Like I'm not comparing this to anything else, but if you want me to compare it to the cutscenes, yes, I like the movement far more than what the cutscenes have given us. And at the very least, I'm happy to see them doing a different Sonic model in general. I'm just saying there is room for improvement, and I hope they get there.
I still like the idea of what they're going for with the arms, because I understand it, and I like when cartoons, especially like Sonic, because I see it in fan art and everything all the time, where it'll kind of grow in size, from one point over to the other, but it does feel like Pup. It's not like you don't have a good point here. It does feel like it's not entirely finished. Like they still need to like tweak it a little bit to actually get those poses right. So it's like if they can make it work, cool. I see what they're going for, but it does look off.
Every possibility that the end product, like that, this is just a thing quickly put together, and they haven't had the time to do those beziers on the arms. But like I don't know. Like either way, I'm not gonna throw it all out just because I don't like the way Sonic's arms look. Again, I'm not gonna mace a GameStop employee over this. But like, there's something a little off about this, and I feel like I am exercising my whatever amendment right to speak freely about it.
That does take a little more time to to express critiques and explain it than it does the positive sometimes too.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm
happy.
I'm looking forward to it, but like my overall prediction is still going to be, and don't mistake me here when I says I think it's going to be mid. Mid isn't necessarily a bad thing, and the reason I say that is because I think of all the versions of Sonic we have, the core Prime Sonic is one of the less interesting ones, and I kind of, I don't know, I guess I like the comedic stylings of like Sonic Boom, and I like the wacky zaniness of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. And I think the problem with Prime is it's just going to be sensible.
I think you always had an emphasis on comedy. I think you have a great appreciation for it, and I always respect you for that.
If it's pure action, I'll be happy. Like, if it's pure adrenaline-fueled action, I'll be pleased.
I think it's going to be interesting when this when this series comes out. It's going to be directly compared to stuff like Arcane and Castlevania now in terms of animated video game adaptations, especially Arcane, because that's done in 3D as well.
And it's really hard to top Arcane in a lot of categories. I
had a thought actually when I was looking at like the Sonic Prime concept art. I was like, imagine if this was handled by the same animation studios that did like Arcane, and it looked exactly like the concept art does, but it's technically 3D animated. It just emulates a sort of painted look. I was like, oh man, that would be amazing.
And that's the thing. We know that can be done, and we've seen it done. I think people might be getting tired of keep going back to this, but Spider-Verse did kind of change the landscape for mainstream 3D animation. And we've been seeing a lot of studios starting to get a lot more experimental with the visual style. I mean, what was that? The Bad Guys that just came out? Like, in all the reviews, the one thing everyone's constantly complimenting is just like the way they designed it.
Well, I mean, doesn't it have that sort of animated on twos kind of aesthetic at times?
It does. So does that that new Puss in Boots.
The thing I'll say about that is you don't want that to be every 3D thing that comes out, because otherwise that becomes the norm.
Yeah, you don't. But what I'm not talking so much about the animation per se, but more about like just the overall tone, like visual tone, like the visual style. How are you taking those models? How are you shading them? How are you getting those visual elements to pop out and everything like that? Spider-Verse did really change that landscape, and I don't necessarily think every piece of animation should always be choppy. When I saw Puss in Boots was kind of going in that direction, I was just like, oh, I'm a little worried about this now. That wasn't the one thing that made Spider-Verse work visually. But then like you look at Arcane, and it was just there's not a lot of shows that just look like that. And it looks like they literally just took the concept art and threw it onto the screen and animated it. It's awesome. And
animation in twos is... Sorry, Wayne. I'll let you finish that first.
And I think Sonic... Again, outside of specifically like the animation, if you're doing it on ones or twos, just that visual style, when you're modeling them and you're creating the look, I think Sonic as a franchise would benefit so heavily from that. And at this point, I would almost go as far as to say I think it needs it.
I think
I'd agree with you there. I think. Sorry, go for it, Pup.
If they animate on twos, the art style, I feel like. I sent you a while back. I found these fan-made Sonic models that were that actually emulated the style of like the Sonic Adventure sort of box art, and it had that cel-shaded look, and it even had the shading look the same. Yet they were 3D models. I feel like that, and then animated on twos would work, because I feel like animated on twos works its absolute best when you're trying to kind of mimic traditional animation.
I guess, but I mean, like, I think Wayne's overall point is like not really box yourself into this one specific thing. Like, animation can be anything you want it to be.
No, right. I was trying to build on top of that point, was all.
Sure. But yeah, I think that, yeah, I agree with that overall point that Sonic doesn't need to be strictly one thing. And yeah, if you're going to be doing a show, instead of, trying to make it realistic or anything like that, yeah, like try to get a little bit more experimental with the style. And maybe we are still up for that. You never know, because we are doing like a multiverse show. And I think that even like the effects that they teased in the title of Sonic Prime, we could be seeing multiple animation styles or art, or art direction or any number of things. I think the
Almost
sky's
like
the
a
limit.
Kingdom Hearts type thing where Sonic pops in a universe and suddenly the aesthetics have all changed.
Could be.
I mean, it is worth noting. Like in the concept art, we've seen his costume keeps like he gets new gloves and shoes and stuff.
Yeah.
So it could be that they might be shifting the styles a little bit again. Across the Spider-Verse seems to be doing something kind of similar.
Yeah.
Just a good idea if you're doing multiverse stuff. Also, feels like we're starting to get a lot of multiverse stuff lately.
It's
Gee,
getting a
wonder
little
why.
tiring.
I mean, and they could just be all the same thing, but in different things. I don't know. I think like just looking at it from there, like I don't think the budget's going to really call for getting too nuts with it. It's just a possibility. Either way, I'm looking forward to it, but like my concerns that I've expressed months and months ago are still there. I've never really been fully in love with anything made by this studio, so you know, I still think they're going to have a hard time topping the really really funny moments of Sonic Boom. And whether or not you like that, that's, you know, neither here or there, but there was some smart writing in some of those scripts, and I've always appreciated that. So yeah. Anyone have any other final thoughts on the trailer before we jump on to whatever we're doing next?
I hate it.
I like video games.
Before we eat up too much more of King's time, I did want to actually focus a little bit more on him, if you guys are down with that, because you did just recently release a Sonic Advance video, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
And unfortunately I haven't seen it yet, but I did appreciate just the very thought that you're releasing it now, because there is a lot of focus on Origins coming out, and I do think, well, I mean, I'm always going to advocate for the original games being the best they can be. Those will always be my favorite of the bunch, but I think there needs to be more advocacy, you know, more conversations about bringing in other games that do deserve not only to be brought back, but some touching up. And I do think that the advanced games personally could use a 16:9 integration and
They could use
re-release
a soundtrack overhaul too. The GBA did not have a pleasant sound chip.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, you know, I try to say that, like, I'm looking forward to, you know, seeing if Origins it looks like it'll be the definitive, you know, like at this point, it's pretty hard not to be, but like, I'm pretty excited to have that, you know, especially because my little cousins are getting into Sonic now, through the movies. So I'm probably going to get that for them when it comes out. And like, it'll be cool, you know, it's always good to have the origins of Sonic for everybody to enjoy now that there's a shit ton of new fans through the movies.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of unfortunate that through that process, it feels like we're losing the further away we get from certain games that have released and not been re-released. It's sort of sad because it feels like eventually maybe they'll just be lost, you know? And I don't want that to happen.
It sounds like Sega need to be kind of told that it's like 16-bit Sonic history is not the only Sonic history that matters.
Well, and
Yeah,
like, this is still 16-bit Sonic history.
I try not to be like that about it necessarily, just because I don't want to come off as like, because I clearly have my biases, you know. I grew up with the 3D games more than I did the 2D games. But it's just sort of a like, I want the love to be spread equally sort of thing, you know what I mean? Just because I like the franchise as a whole. So that's more, I guess, where I'm coming from.
Yeah. I do lean more with the opinions of like what the critics were saying of the day for a lot of the video games. And I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Like I have a lot of problems with the games after the original trilogy came out, but I do think there needs to be something said about not being embarrassed of the history of this franchise, regardless of the hiccups, because it's not like it was completely perfect from the get-go. I mean, look outside of like the core trilogy there, you have a lot of weird games, and even they got some love, right? Like the Gems collection back in the day collected games I never thought I'd see again, even back then.
Why the fuck is Sonic Eraser not in the Origins collection?
For God's sakes. But yeah, like why not go back to some of these games and okay, maybe they weren't perfect. Maybe some Dimps design leaves a lot of ground to be covered.
Yeah.
Haha,
but I
Sonic pun.
but I would like I would like to experience those games in a proper widescreen situation, and honestly, those would be the easiest of the games to bring back. I'd assume anyway, right?
Probably. I mean, I know there's the mess with THQ, but I don't know. I don't know what that means nowadays. Now that THQ is kind of kaput,
I would
so I don't know.
I would have to assume, but like then again, you look at the Pender stuff, like Sonic or like Sega would have enough sense to be like, when we're signing the contracts, like distribution rights, like we still own all the rights to
Yeah,
this game and everything.
You
like
would
that.
hope.
It's
Yeah,
weird
you
though,
would
isn't
hope.
it? Because like, do you know like the whole thing with like the Sonic Chronicles soundtrack, for example?
That's a good point. That's a good
Was
point.
like I think when BioWare were first commissioned or something, like they had a soundtrack ready, and then after a buyout, they had to scrap it all and cobble something together real quick. So they're just like, okay, take these Mega Drive MIDIs and make it sound like new music.
I
Not
really
that
don't know
dis-
why they didn't just bring the tracks over straight up.
It's funny because it's not that dissimilar to what happened with Spinball, where like they got the music together and then they found out like right before the game was, or I think as the game was shipping, basically it was like, oh, we don't have the rights to this music, we got to change that.
It makes me wonder how the fuck Sega have survived as a company when they can't handle legal matters like the music you make for the game is made for the game.
I mean, that's been like even from the get go, right? Like Green Hill, like that was a
Like
a big deal for a long time.
Dreams
Wait,
Come
what?
True still own the rights to the Sonic 1 and 2 soundtracks.
Yeah, which is very very weird.
I didn't know that. What?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah,
Yeah, Sega's really
Um,
weird with how they handle IP right stuff. It's very strange.
yeah. I don't know, man. Like maybe that's part of the reason why we don't see some of the stuff back. But we know for sure that they have the rights to basically everything with Sonic Adventure. So
Yeah.
Well, sounds like there's an opportunity there, huh?
I don't know why those haven't come back yet. That's super strange to me. Like I understand.
I think part of
yeah, they haven't aged perfectly. That's fine, but just for preservation's sake, I'm bring them the fuck back.
Well, didn't they have like a poll out at one point where they were trying to figure out if people wanted like either like a full remake or like a faithful port of the original games? I remember there being some discussion about that. I do think that a part of it is they would have to you might have to put a little more work into it than you would say the Genesis games. And they would probably want to go back with the original like Dreamcast versions, not so much like the
Don't do
DX ports.
Don't do the port of the port of the port like we got.
But then
Yeah.
again, though, like
Mhm.
I thought they pretty much rebuilt the classics from the ground up when they did the remakes.
With the retro engine, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and if that's the case, like, I don't know why you don't return to that particular mindset of, hey, fans have already done them, just pay them for their work.
Like
You know.
I would happily kind of accept not necessarily a remake, but just a remaster where they improve the textures and lighting and stuff, but like the models are generally the same. If it meant that it's like, okay, we'll release 2 quick remasters and Sonic Adventure 3. I would rather have that than Sonic Adventure remakes.
I mean, at this point, yeah. I mean, like, the more I think about it, the more I would just like the very best versions of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. I think you'd have to make such a drastic difference in the core mechanics of those games to justify remaking them. Because a lot of that stuff has not, again, aged perfectly. Like, the big question of big and what do you do with them? I'd say just make it the nicest version of those old games as possible. Put them
I would
out there
say-
for preservation's sake, and then make Sonic Adventure 3 with a lot of the basis, like, inspired from those first 2 games,
I
but
mean,
trying
that
something a little
said,
bit differently.
The what to do with Big Dilemma is one I would say is just easy. Just toggle it so that he doesn't have to be played to unlock the final story.
Or just
I
have his
just-
story be unlockable at the end of the
Just
final
an
story as a
extra.
bonus.
Yeah, you can do it as not that. You'd feel fucking insulted for completing the game. I would just say, just have it
Wayne wouldn't?
available. Yeah, but Wayne's weird.
I'm sorry, I was answering a work message. What? What?
It's okay, Wayne. Don't worry about it. But
Suris, what did I miss?
No,
Don't worry about it.
we were saying that for the Big the Cat thing for in later renditions, like best versions of Sonic Adventure 1, maybe not making Big the Cat mandatory, but like making him maybe unlockable once you finish last story. That way people still play it if they want to, but they're not forced to play Big.
And then when Wayne comes in, I said that would be like an insult for completing the game.
And I'd be like, Wayne wouldn't be insulted. He'd be like, yeah, I unlocked Big the Cat. Time to go play my favorite part.
I said Wayne is just weird. Like, never have Wayne in your focus group.
Always have Wayne in your focus group.
We need more
just
fishing.
for what that game is, like maybe have like a museum quality kind of a thing, like as an extra there. But I would like improve the camera. Is smooth out some of the animation bugs there, but like I wouldn't really touch too much of like the core idea of what that game is. Just if you were to make Sonic Adventure 3, that's where I would make Big optional, and also maybe make him fun. But
I think I like the idea. I talked about this in my Sonic's Stupid Friends video, but I like the idea of Big, the way they kind of do him in IDW, where he's, and it's kind of what you get in Adventure 1 as well. He's kind of like that straight man who's just bumbling through the chaos of what one of Sonic's adventures is like. And he's just always kind of there in the background trying to keep up for his own reasons. But he's not essential, but he's kind of like the Watcher.
Yeah, I'd
and
say
I like him being that.
The first thing to do with Big is take away his voice, make him mute. And so he's not going.
Are you saying you think that John St. John, voice of Duke fucking Nukem, cannot portray the most wonderful Sonic character?
I'm actually with Pup there. I think it'd be a better character.
First things first. That means fuck all to me because I never played Duke Nukem. Secondly, no, shut up. You're wrong. Ratio. No, but my kind of thing is make him kind of like the Mr. Hulo of the Sonic universe. Just, as you say, an everyman passing through. Like, when shit's going down, he's just walking in the back with his umbrella, takes a quick look over, continues on his day.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to go for that to be funny.
I'm completely with Pup there. I think he was at his strongest when, like, you see just creepy little cameos of him in Sonic Adventure 2, or when he was running towards Tails, and then he looks up at him with those dead eyes in Sonic Adventure 1. That was incredible. Like, that's the shit I want to keep.
Funnier if they weren't explicit with him being an idiot. Make it so he's not even an idiot. We just don't even know. We just don't know this guy.
Yeah, I really didn't need the big dumb voice out of him. I mean, again, like, if you're doing Sonic Adventure again, I wouldn't touch it. Leave it like it is.
Sonic Adventure 3, we just like find him hacking into an Eggman base at one point, and he just looks at you and just looks back to the computer slowly.
I mean, it's such of its time, that game, that I think that you need to kind of, I mean, if you're going to preserve games, I think you kind of need to preserve what they were about there. And yeah, maybe you have like a classic version and then an anniversary version or whatever. But
yeah,
I mean, I think we'd be missing something if they took out like those janky character models.
I want to see
Sonic have to move while they're fucking talking.
I want to see Sonic's giant fucking fangs when he opens his mouth wide.
Yeah. I think you missed something there.
When you go into like remastering the Sonic Adventure games and quality of life improvements, where do you stop? Because like, if you want to make the best version of this possible, there's going to be disagreements on what is good jank and bad jank. Like, we made a jank-free Sonic Adventure 1. You've lost a lot of the charm of Sonic Adventure 1, but you've got a more polished game out of it. But it's like, you know, so, oh yeah, this was janky. The way Sonic moves here is a bit janky. Okay, now we're going to take away his ridiculous facial expression when he says, Tails, you're going to crash. No, don't fucking do that.
I mean, now that I'm saying that out loud, though, I wouldn't hate like a very well told narrative for Chaos and Shadow and Gamma.
I mean, that's the thing is, like, if you were to actually have the nuts to like sacrifice some of that classic Sonic Adventure jank, you know, like if you did that with Sonic Adventure 2, you'd have the best game ever made. So like, is it a sacrifice for a good cause? That's the question.
King, what are your thoughts on any of this nonsense?
I mean, like, I'm gonna be quite honest. I hope they just never do SA3, because at this point, it would not be what I ever wanted it to be in this current day and age. And I'm kind of like, I don't know. I wrestle with this question a lot, but I just don't think it's. I mean, this is irregardless of whatever they're going to do. I'm sure they'll do it one day, but like, it's just at this point, SA1 and 2 are what they are, and I would just much rather they be preserved as well as they can. I agree, and you know, I guess if they do SA3, fine, but it's not something I'm actively looking forward to because I just don't. I don't know. I don't see that going well.
Yeah. That sucks that that's always part of the conversation, isn't it? Like anytime we have these conversations, even like those Zippo leaks of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 being remade, like there was always that, well, this was the 2010 era, wasn't it? Like, did you guys really want Pontac and Graf touching those scripts? Like, honestly?
I think that's the thing is like as I say, where do you stop? You know? And like I would say don't mess with the dialogue. I would say, you know, keep the original voice clips in there as well, you know, just clean them up. Don't, you know, get Roger redoing it. But then again, for the sake of brand fucking whatever, like
symmetry.
It would make sense. Yeah, that. I mean, like the thing is, before anyone says they want Sonic Adventure 3, you need to have some idea of what does a Sonic Adventure 3 necessarily entail? What do you want from this? And my criteria is just adventure style gameplay, and a completely original story with original levels, no rehashes or anything like that. A Jun Sunu soundtrack, obviously Crush 40. Maybe, you know, maybe a little hub world or two. It's not essential because Sonic Adventure 2 didn't have them, but, you know.
I feel like Sonic Adventure 2 didn't have it because of time constraints more than anything, though.
It could be that, but also Sonic Adventure 2's whole storyline is a lot more fast-paced. And it's a lot more urgent. Everything's, you know, happening. There's not really any point of Sonic Adventure 2 where you can just chill out at Station Square or whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like
I should say that, to reiterate, that if they announced SA3, I'd lose my shit. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but it's just sort of a like, if I could make the decision, I don't know if I would.
Dude, I'd be so... I would find my shit. I would go find it and then be like, dude, look at this. I would literally put little googly eyes on it and show it the fucking trailer.
Jesus.
I would. I mean, obviously, like the original trilogy means a lot more to me than the Adventure game. I mean, Adventure 1 is my second favorite Sonic game of all time, but I also agree with the trepidation that King is showing because I have lived with the pain of Sonic 4, which is... Suris, are you playing with your Nerf guns? What is happening over there?
I thought those muted.
No, you've been doing this for like 5-10 minutes.
Are you gonna let us play with the Nerf gun, Suris?
Sure. Get your butt over here.
All right, let's play with it. It sounds
fun. Man, like that, I hate that conversation boils down to, well, we need to trust the dev team to do the job correctly. And I'm still trepidatious about Frontiers for a very damn good reason. I don't think that Lost World or any of those games were outright terrible, but they're not.
I think
anything worthwhile.
It behooves us to be trepidatious.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, and I mean, until they use the name Sonic Adventure 3, we'll never truly have a Sonic Adventure 3, but we also still have to remember that Sonic 06 happened, and, you know, sans a Chow Garden that is basically Sonic Adventure 3.
I say, if they want to instill the trust for a Sonic Adventure 3, first thing they got to do, make Sonic 4. And I don't mean re-release Sonic 4
the mobile game.
Just literally make a new game and call it Sonic 4, just to say this is where we're at now.
Here's what I would love. I would love Sega to be this ballsy. I would love a Sonic 5 done by Christian Whitehead and those guys that wraps up Sonic 4 story. And I would love them to remake Sonic Adventure 1, 2, and 06, make it good, throw in a Chow Garden, and then call it Sonic Adventure 3. I would love to see the balls on that.
Also,
I mean-
remake Sonic Lost World and make it a Sonic game, and remake Sonic Forces and make it good, and undivorce my wife, and
Exactly. Like, go rewrite history. All you gotta do is just spend some money, make a Sonic Forces with a Chaos boss fight. Everyone wins.
I mean, that's already that's the thing, is this stuff is actually already done. Sega just needs to throw money at the right people, and then it's there.
because that fan base is there to pick up their
Like
their
Sonic
slack.
06? Sonic 06 remake? It's there, it's ready. Like, all they need now is Silver's story and the final story and some hub worlds, and they're done.
Yep.
Like,
It'd be amazing. I mean, Project 06, like, pay them to finish that up and just release it as an official thing.
That's got all the trappings of what I'm looking for in a Sonic Adventure game.
It is. I was so excited
And just
for that
add
game
in
when it's
some
coming out.
temple exploration as well, and then Wayne will nut.
well, I would say
I would nut all over.
the main thing that it would need for me to kind of willingly call it Adventure 3 is to be more urban.
I can see that, but like I don't need that.
I don't need that.
I'm happy for them to kind of keep the exploration around. Basically,
but
for me, like I would honestly say Sonic 06, you clean that up, you make that just more concise, you make things a little less janky. Yeah, you cut out some of the bullshit in the overworlds, like the hide and seek game or whatever the dumb fucking thing with that was.
Don't cut it out, just make it good.
I guess if you have to have it there, just make it better. Then sure, that's Sonic Adventure 3, and then Sonic Unleashed is just Sonic Adventure 4, basically.
I say the reason why I'm still a little trepidatious of calling it SA3 is when I think of Sonic Adventure, I think of things like Station Square, City Escape, these giant mechanical structures and stuff like, the fucking the fucking aircraft hangar bay thing that you run along and stuff like that, explosions and stuff, like cool modern shit. And
I need
Sonic
Bio
06
Lizard with a space colony up his butt.
Yeah,
Sonic 06 is very much welcome to the kingdom of Soliana. Here the princess
you
is
get to
praying
Silver.
to the sun god, and
I just need
I was gonna say that, like,
God.
I honestly, I'm pretty down with that because, like, Crisis City is in there, and you got stuff like Kingdom Valley, and it's sort of like, this place is kind of out of the way, maybe, but like, I think it has the trappings of adventure. I'd be willing to say that, especially because it has it introduces Silver, so it's kind of like a tradition sort of thing. It's like, it feels definitely like when I play Project 06, it feels like it's a successor to those two games. You can feel it when you play it, I guess.
Adventure alone tells me, like, I mean, I think that's a weird idea to say, like, adventure needs to have like urban areas to feel like a proper Sonic Adventure game, when Sonic Adventure alone just taught me that Sonic's world can be whatever the hell you want it to be, and it can have humans and cities and shit like that, as well as like more ancient stuff.
Okay,
and I like that evolution. Is like
final moving of the goalpost. Then, okay.
Oh my god.
It's not a Sonic Adventure game if it doesn't have a Junsano soundtrack and a Crush 40 final boss theme.
Okay, done.
All right, then make that.
But then you have to get rid of Sonic 06's soundtrack, which is really good.
I don't know I'd go that far.
Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I would just create one new track.
I say call it Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles and call it a day.
Oh my god.
Damn it.
I really just want more Sonic games where you fight God.
I guess since there's only 2 of them, I don't count too many things as essential adventure. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard to say. Because Crush 40 at least has a rendition of his world. It's not like, I don't know. It would be a little weird, but 06 was a little weird, so it's just kind of inevitable.
Well, I will just petulantly sit in the corner stewing and thinking to myself, it needs to be better than Sonic Adventure 2. And if you fix Sonic 06, it's still not better than Sonic Adventure 2.
Well, I mean, there's not going to be... I think the game's held a little bit too high of a regard, but that's just me. But
no, you're fucking wrong, us, Nick. That's us.
Look,
that's us.
It's okay, you two. You can be wrong. It's fine.
We're gonna go make our own club.
Here's when I think of, like, whenever I have the conversation. like here's the problem. Like, anytime I think about like a Sonic Adventure 3, I'm like, well, what kind of elements can you merge together to make it like a true third entry? And it always lands on, well, probably what 06 was aiming for.
It needs to be the best game ever made.
But it just feels like a smart compromise there if it was just put together correctly. We have hub worlds again, which I missed it desperately. I loved that shit. They definitely needed to add a little bit more to it. And also, like, we've also streamlined the characters where it's just hedgehogs, but also in the levels, you actually do get to play the other characters. I thought that was like a genius middle ground, and then I played the game. Oh God. Yeah, man. I don't know.
I'm gonna say,
as crazy as this is to say, I honestly think an 06 that was like Project 06 fully. I'm not saying it would be better than SA2, but I think SA2 has a lot of areas where it could have been improved by an SA3, and I think it'd be pretty close. You know, I think I could consider it. Yeah.
I'm still gonna say you need to do something about Princess Elise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's like the most obvious
it.
shortcoming of it, probably. But like, you know, I mean, like I still love SA1, and the way that story is told is a little, you know, even in SA2, the story that I love, the way it's told sometimes is kind of janky and weird. So like, I don't know. I think it could work.
I think she should stay in there. I think they need to reevaluate her role in it, or like how many times she's captured anyway. I think there's a better character there to be had if you gave her the chance to be a better character.
I think if they gave her more like actual agency instead of like making her completely useless character.
No, do what the one and only Danky says. Kill Elise, don't remove her, kill her. You guys will see a body.
Yeah.
Have the same gun
Yes,
agent.
I need to see the body.
Yeah, you know what? No. Make it a prequel. Make it a prequel to Sonic Adventure 2 and have Elise swapped out for Maria Robotnik.
Oh God.
Because with all, you know, there's talk about Elise and stuff, and like, yeah, but I do still genuinely enjoy the story that's told for like Shadow, and then like parts of, you know,
I love
parts
seeing
of
Shadow's
Silver's story.
growth.
Even it's like I just like some of the ideas in there, and I think that they could work given the right context. You know,
I mean, that's always been my main thing. Is like when I've sat there imagining Sonic Adventure 3, because I do that. Mephiles is the fucking villain, but again, it's not Sonic 06.
I see a lot of people saying change Elise to Sally. I don't. I mean, I know they're both princesses, but that's not the like
Sally
the draw
would
of
not.
her character.
Sally would never say, "I don't care what happens to the world."
No, that's not her priorities. She, that's she was a boots on the ground kind of gal. That's what made her.
She'd be like, "Can you just hurry up and blow out the fucking candle, Sonic?"
No, she's not the I wear a weird swan dress and get kidnapped every 5 seconds kind of character.
Oh, Dr. Robotnik.
I think, if you're gonna remake 06 and you had to put it somewhere, I do think that it's more of a adventure game than a. I'm still mad that they had the balls to call that Sonic the Hedgehog. That's such a deep affront to me.
I thought that was cool as fuck. Just unfortunate that fuck it. Fuck you all. I like Sonic 06.
We know you do, pup.
It's a masterpiece.
Uh-huh.
I
think that's the
respect
problem
its
with a lot
vision.
of Sonic. I hate that with the discourse where it's like it has to be this extreme. It's never like I like it. It's like it's actually great.
No, to be fair, what if it just is what? But to be fair, what if it just is to them? You know, what if they genuinely really do think it is that great? It's kind of up to them, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's speaking like in the subjective, like it is great. That's the delineation that I'm making here.
The thing that I've kind of learned from my time on Twitter is you don't always need to put "in my opinion" after something because it should be obvious, and the only reason it isn't is because some people are fucking stupid.
Yeah, but there's still difference between I like 06 as opposed to saying 06 is a good game actually.
No, but you could back that up though. Like someone could have reasons for saying it's a good game.
Right.
Yeah.
And with that, you have very, very quickly invalidated your own point. It was interesting to watch you do. But you
what are you
did it.
talking about?
The fact that you had to have a delineation between a point thrown into the ether and a point that was well backed up kind of destroyed the original argument of not needing to clarify this is just my opinion on things, because there are people who speak things into the ether as objective fact without backup. You delineating that, it was fun to watch you crash and burn your own boat for a minute there.
No, it's time for public Suris. Here we go.
So that fucking
That shit aside, my point is ultimately there's probably going to be people out there that play games like Sonic 06 and are just like, I think this is a great game, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, but that's still a different sentence than this is a great game.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, if you want a spicy take, I don't delineate between this is good and I like this. That's
I don't either.
Extremely spicy take, probably, but I just don't.
I generally try to avoid that because, like, if I like it, it's got to be for a reason.
I mean, I still do that too, right? Like my big S3K video, like I start off by saying, like, if you call this a bad game, you don't know what a bad game is. So
yeah, but you're right though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
and then you spent an hour substantiating that claim.
I think that's ultimately what the difference between Twitter and our YouTube videos, though, right? It's like we spend the time talking about where we're coming from.
And on Twitter, you got 140 characters to just shriek.
I just like every now and then, like I pause them on, like there was one yesterday by like one with a larger Twitter following than I think any of us here, and we was just like, Sonic Unleashed is the best Sonic game, and it's not even close. And I'm like, I'm gonna just sit down and just embarrass you, you fucking idiot. Like, never mind. Don't do it. Don't do it. God damn it. Most of the game's a worse God of War. I'm just fine. It's fine.
I can't wait for you to actually get to the Game Apologist episode. Okay, so when you get to the Game Apologist episode of Unleashed, it has to be a collab between you and Pup.
It does not. It's just going to be us arguing the whole time.
I need to hear Pup thrash you with fact and logic.
I'm waiting. Like, I get to the game, like, while he's still living with me, and he's just going to be in, like, the other room, like, looking at me.
You underestimate me, Nick. You know that if we did that collab, that would be a really, really good it would be more like the conversations we have when we're not live.
There's going to be, like I've accepted the fate that you have to be involved on some level, because I have to draw us, me as the Sonic side and you as the Werehog side.
I feel
like you have to do that.
I feel like there's a way that we could do a Sonic Unleashed collab in a very unifying and peaceful way, and I think it would set a great precedent if we did.
I think our Cyber Sonic video alone proved that we do make a great collab team. Like,
we make a that's true, but I feel like
the minute of you two yelling at each other because it felt like home.
I feel like for the Unleashed one, we should go in the opposite direction.
It was like I could
I'm not doing gimmicks. I'm going to share my opinion about the game.
It's not supposed to be a gimmick, bitch. We'll talk about this when the mics are off. We'll talk about this when the audience is here.
Damn it.
Yeah, right.
Not while the kids are watching you two. You're tearing this family apart.
You mean to tell me us squabbling over a Sonic Boom episode wasn't a gimmick?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. Like,
the video literally opened with me wearing your jacket.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, that's a topic we can get stupid on. Like, I want to give, like, an honest, thorough, like, breakdown of Unleash, and then you're like, let's go opposite directions on it. Let's just
no, that's not. No. So you would give your thoughts on Sonic Unleashed from the perspective that it's. What do you think of Sonic Unleashed?
It's got a lot of brilliant elements, but it's mostly
just like in a word, just a quick one word: good, bad, middling. What is it?
It's middling.
All right, so I would be coming to it from the perspective that it is pretty fucking god tier, but you would make points. I would acknowledge those points. I would give my own points in response, and then we would have the collab.
And then I thought make out for 20
I straight
minutes.
up thought you were going to say you would make points. I would ignore those points. That's where I thought you were going.
He would win some. I would almost win others.
Suris, you need to let people grow.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys here. When it comes to collabs, I'm very selfish with it. Like I made this YouTube channel because I want to share my opinion, and there are times where I'm like, I just want to do it. I don't want to deal with anybody. I want to do my own thing. But I would have to. I
you and I
have
are
to.
so collabing. You're not getting out of that shit.
God damn it. Yeah, no, but the thing is, like, I respect everyone's opinion in here.
Do you?
And I believe it or not, I do.
I'll never forget the all caps Facebook DM I received of you fucking thrashing Sonic Adventure 2, saying, "How the fuck do you like this?"
Oh man, but like that's what I love about you guys though, is like it's been just kind of refreshing, like having like honest conversations, just not like full on Twitter debacles, like properly learning what made some of these games so special to you guys. And I think like genuinely, like I do want to actually sit down with Pup at some point when I do talk about Unleashed and either give you like a piece for yourself or we do like some jokes in there, maybe a little bit of column A, column B. But yeah, like I do want Pup involved with that video whenever that comes around, because like I've always known him as like the Unleashed guy, and I guess I'd be the S3K guy,
Which is
Wayne
funny
is
because
the
that
adventure guy, and Suris is the SA2 guy.
What's funny though is it did shift when I last did my live stream of Sonic Unleashed. It then shifted to, okay, SA2 is my favorite, but like
Sure,
Unleashed is pretty fucking close.
yeah, but like I understand it doesn't change the fact that that game is holds a very special place in your heart. Like
It was
I would
the game
say,
that made me a Sonic fan. That's one thing.
yeah, I mean, like to give you an example, like with movies, right? Like Jurassic Park's my favorite movie, but I'm forever tied to this weird obsession with 98 Godzilla. And I accept that it's a worse movie and it's an affront to like OG Godzilla in general. But like I have embraced that as weirdly part of my identity. I love it.
See, that's where like we are really similar, but we're different.
You're
is
not
I
so
will
different,
say.
you and
No,
I.
but this is where the difference comes in. Is I will say, fuck you, Venom: Let There Be Carnage is a good movie, and I like it. I'll go all in. I'm not a fucking coward. I'm not a fucking pussy.
I know what I
It's
am.
amazing that Gilly wants to fight me on Adventure 2 when I consider him the Sonic 2 guy. I'm gonna fight like the entire internet with SA2.
We literally need to have just a series of Nick getting dogpiled on for fucking Sonic Adventure 2.
I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward
to when I cover that either. Like, because I'm going into it.
Yeah.
Wayne, I'm gonna make a fucking response video to you on my second channel.
Pretty sure response videos aren't still a thing, or I'm thinking video.
I mean, no, there were response videos aren't a thing anymore, but now they're full on fucking channels.
I see that someone hasn't been watching Suris lately.
No, I'm saying it's evolved into like it's just like its own thing. Like reaction videos are its own thing now.
What did we used to call it? It wasn't video.
It was a video response, but it was like in the video response. Degree. Like you could go on someone's video and literally click create video response, and it would like
yeah.
There would literally be a subcategory that said like video responses beneath it. It was a good way to get clout.
I feel like I've told you guys about this. Did I ever tell you about the weird one the completionist got? That he was talking about at the convention. Okay, so at MagFest one year, there was
you might have told me, but tell it anyway.
Yeah, and he was talking about like the weirdest video response he ever got was just a guy comes into a room on camera, sits down, pours a bowl of cereal, sits there, stares at the camera, eating said bowl of cereal, finishes, and then he turns off the camera, and that was it.
Yeah, I remember that.
I want to see this video. I wonder if it's still out there somewhere.
Oh God. I just love the arguments happening in the comments there.
Oh
God. King, again, I apologize. We just kind of ramble over each other this whole time. Do you have any thoughts about any of this nonsense we're talking about, or should we move on to the super chats?
I mean, like, I think it's just interesting to hear different perspectives, you know? I think it's nice. It's nice to have a like, because when you like have these kinds of discussions on like Twitter or something, you just can't put your all into it, you know?
No, you can't.
And it's just, you know, like I agree with basically everything that was said, and fuck you, Unleash is great.
Hell yeah.
We've got so many. Is Nick the only one who's anti-unleashed in this group?
I mean, that's the
he hasn't
problem,
fucking
right?
completed
Twitter?
it. You
Is
haven't
that like a Twitter
completed it.
thing? It's
You
like it's
haven't
completely
completed it.
shut the fuck up, pup. But like, isn't it like the problem with it is like Twitter's like that, where it's this screaming dog man, or you,
Hey.
sir, you piece of shit, where you're just like, is he the one that anti-unleash? Is like, I think it's okay, and that turns into, oh, he hates it.
You do,
But I'm
I
sorry,
like
where it's
waffles.
like,
So you mean you
like
hate
a com-
pancakes?
well, that's what.
I mean, I know why Nick doesn't like Sonic Unleashed. It's because he doesn't
This
fucking look at the
fucker right
tips.
here.
I
This
saw
fucker.
you playing it. I saw you playing it on a live stream. Like, oh, how do I do this? And I was like, it tells you how to do that, you bitch.
Yeah, it's like I would make a full opinion on one playthrough or one Twitch stream. No, that's not how I roll.
What's your opinion
Like,
of it then?
It's fine. It's
You
in the
said you wouldn't
middle.
make an opinion based on one play.
No.
For God's
We're
sake.
in
Is
the
that the only time I play?
weeds.
No. Yeah, like you're just turning this into an entirely different conversation. Shut the goddamn fuck up for a second here. No,
I'll
my
fucking
problem
kill
is
you.
with Sonic. I can't help it. Every time he does that, when we're in the middle of a debate, I can't help but giggle like an idiot. I love it. God, I was losing my point. This is why I try to veer back, because he does this to me, and I
If
know
your
he
points
knows
were
he's doing
good,
this
you
to
wouldn't
me.
lose them.
This piece of shit.
If they were more noteworthy, you'd be able to find them immediately.
I just miss the more nuanced conversations that can be had with it, and I think Unleash is definitely like
The best.
deserving of that particular conversation. But yeah, I do have a problem when someone gets onto Twitter and then goes, "This is definitively the best Sonic game," and
All
it's
right,
not even
challenge
close.
accepted.
And just
It's just
Well, because
keeps
they know
going.
they're gonna get engagement from it, which is obviously
Yeah.
why they do it.
I
It's
still
just this
love like.
cycle of
there's a reason why they have so many
awfulness.
followers. Yeah,
Am I the only one who likes Sonic Unleashed?
Sonic
Am I the
Unleashed
only one that's
appreciation
not the
thread
enemy?
Well, that's totally, like,
3684.
because I genuinely love that line from Black Knight, but Jesus Christ, people need to stop tweeting about it, like, because it's just it's too much, you know. It becomes too much.
yeah.
My favorite
Actually-
line from Sonic and the Black Knight is, "Hey, you're gonna fucking die. Stop trying to avoid it."
I just tweeted out, I am the only one who likes Sonic Unleashed. I'm not asking.
And watch, it's gonna go viral because fights go viral on Twitter.
No one else is allowed to like this game. I am the only one who likes it.
Not
I
even.
do think it is kind of amazing that game has like just risen to the top of like the love of the fan base currently. I feel like
Because it was the last Sonic game that wasn't fucking guy apart from Generations and maybe
yeah,
colors.
it's like that
God,
keeps existing.
that was
And it's
interesting.
Like Unleashed isn't even the best
Because
Boost
of-
game or something.
Because of Sonic Forces, now all of the fucking other games post Sonic Unleashed are garbage.
You know what I will say is that I think that if Generations had a more interesting like story going on, I would probably be less hot on Unleashed overall.
It's amazing
also,
that
um,
Generations had some of the highest potential for a good story with what they were going with, and they were just like, nah.
I mean, little Nick and I were having a discussion about like how Sonic Generations doesn't really have a finale to it, where
No.
Sonic Unleashed has a very climactic finale that will stay with you for the rest of your life and your grandkids' lives. Like Generation just kind of fizzles out. Like you do Planet Wisp, and it's like, well, that's the last level. Okay, time me a boss fight
Yeah.
now. Whereas Unleashed, you got Eggman Land, you got the fucking 7 lights of the earth, not Mobius, rekindled. You got the fucking many loading screens in that final boss that you'll remember forever. Endless possibilities. Fucking Generations doesn't even have a vocal track. Like, fuck. Like, if they ended like Generations with like 3 portals that mashed up the different time zones and stuff, and they were like uber difficult, and it had more build up to that finale, I feel like it would easily be on par with Unleashed. And maybe it needs a good opening cutscene with lots of action and Mars or Animation Planet.
But I feel like that's all set dressing to me. Like at the end of the day, like gameplay is always going to be king for me, and I
but
feel like
you don't just
Generations.
want to fucking play as a fucking cube.
Well, let me
fucking
get
map
my
with
fucking sentence out, Pup,
Bubsy
for God's
3D
sake.
fan. You just want Bubsy 3D, man. I don't know what to tell you.
for God's sakes, I don't dismiss Generations for like focusing only on gameplay. I do think they could have done more, but like yeah, like if you're gonna put like Unleashed and Generations into a boxing match with each other, Generations still comes out on top for me because it's just a better built game in general, in my opinion. But
You needed to clarify that.
but
I actually agree with that.
but I do think
It's just I think where we place our values, you know.
Yeah, but I don't think that means that you completely dismiss the storytelling potential, building up to a wonderful climax and following these characters through a story beginning to end. Yeah, Unleash has that over Generations without a doubt. I kind of, man, like I keep getting mad about Forces because I felt like that could have been all of those elements brought together into like the perfect boost game, and that just
Well, it's also like
yeah.
it pissed away everything those previous games got right as well. I managed to get that wrong too.
It really did.
But like, yeah. So I think with the Generations versus Unleashed debate, I agree that Generations has better gameplay overall, better level design as well. It's the main thing is just it's more meaningful with Unleashed because you've got kind of an engaging story to go with it, and the world actually feels a bit more lived in. So even while the gameplay isn't as good, it feels more immersive for that, if you get me.
Yeah, that's why those elements are there. And I'm not dismissing them outright. I just don't feel they're the most important part of a video game for me.
I think it's literally 2013. We should by now be able to have story and gameplay married well. Fucking Sega.
Yeah.
Get the stick out of your ass. It's literally
Can you imagine a
2014.
Generations with a script written by Flynn? Can you just imagine?
That would be my favorite Sonic game.
So
Probably.
many homages to old stuff as opposed to just them being aesthetic. That would be
Well,
amazing.
it would just be homages. It would be part of the integral story being told.
Yeah, like
as well.
when we go back to bloody fucking like the Sonic Adventure 1 era, we could have met up with Tikal or Sin Chip in Rooftop Run or some shit.
Or Mecha Sonic floating around the background of.
It's so weird because like they do the chemical plant thing, and I was like, oh, are they gonna do this for the rest of the game? And they just kind of don't. It's like, oh
yeah,
okay.
I mean, it's a couple of allusions to it. I was like, you can really do something fun. I think like the biggest problem, we've talked about this before, like when you boil it down to like the actual issue I have with Generations is the mute classic Sonic. I think that's very telling. We're like, oh, it's an homage to the fact that he didn't speak in the old games. It was like, well, no.
You could have just gotten him voiced by Jaleel White and we would have all been happy.
It didn't even need to be Jaleel White. It could have been just that general, like, sassier version of Sonic. That would have been great to play off of Roger Sonic.
I mean, in the first gameplay trailer for it, you do hear classic Sonic make a grunt, and it is Roger Craig Smith.
No.
That's a fun little bit of trivia there. You can take a look at that. But, like Sonic Generations has all of the narrative splendor of going to meet the characters at Disneyland.
It's true. Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Damn.
And it's kind of like what I've been saying for a while is that most of the cast in the Sonic universe doesn't really feel like characters anymore. They're just mascots.
Yeah.
I think we've been saying that for a minute.
Names.
Yeah.
Maybe if they made Shadow gay, that wouldn't be a problem anymore.
I mean, maybe at the start.
Behold, Shadow the Fleshlight.
He is neither a top
Oh,
or a
no.
bottom.
All right.
He is
Okay.
everything.
I think Shadow either fucks everybody or nobody. That's
Shadow
my
is
opinion.
Shadow is pan. He is pansexual in all seriousness. Sonic, on the other hand, he's
I could
bi.
see him being asexual.
He's pansexual. He still fucks. I mean, asexual still fucks.
I'm 95% certain that something happened with Sonic and Rouge for her to constantly call him Big Blue.
Those two fuck.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Not medical.
No,
not
Sonic has to be relatable. He never gets laid.
Man,
with these people.
Yeah. Well, this was a show.
She calls him Big Blue because of his fat ass.
Them cheeks.
I'm so fast. You can't even comprehend how fast I am.
It was me, Shadow. I was the one that tricked you off at light speed.
I made it seem like you just came at a chipmunk's touch.
Jesus.
He wanted some chussy.
Oh God! All right, So, super chats. What do you guys think?
Yeah, super chats are pretty great.
All
My
right.
opinion on super
God
chats are they
damn it.
help me pay my bills.
Do you want to start us off?
Okay, so my friend way past cool kid, we are friends now, by the way. Since $1.99 says, "Good morning, boys. Sonic 2022 hype." I feel that.
I feel that too. You know, as much as we debate, it's a pretty damn good time to be a Sonic fan. I think we're in for a
You're
good
being
future.
Stop. You're not convincing anyone. Anyway, just on to the next super chat, please.
Jamal, our Paul, gave us $2.
Our pal
Happy
Jamal.
B Theory Day, Suris Milk and Nick Milk.
This should be the weirdest. fucking super chat in the world, shouldn't it?
God, why
Jamal's
does it
next one.
always? Why does this
Yeah.
always happen?
Can
Come
we
on,
spare the 15
Suris.
minutes of arguing this time, Suris?
No.
Suris, don't be a bitch. Come on, just read the fucking thing.
Well, actually, luckily, at least this one's for you guys. And chat
Is it the
numbered this
canonical
yesterday.
price?
You still have
No,
to say
it's
it to get
not.
us to say it. You have to.
Fuck off!
Come on,
I want you to jump off of a very short
hurry
bridge.
up, bitch. Just hurry the fuck up.
Jamal has dropped $2. Said, Suris, can you get Nick, Pup, and Wayne to say ooh woo?
No,
I'm sorry, I
Nah.
didn't hear you.
I got
didn't
too
hear you,
much
Suris. What was that?
dignity for that, mate.
it's not the canonical price. It's not the canonical catchphrase.
It was only a question, and the answer is no, you can't. But he said it.
I hate all of you.
Right,
There's-
Wayne, take
alright.
us away with Boatin.
There's an ooh woo for you, Jamal. To
Yeah.
our Paul.
All right,
Ooh,
fine.
Ooh woo.
Okay, fine, Jamal.
I hate you all more.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
That one got weird.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
it's always weird.
Why wouldn't
It's
it?
always weird. And you know it's weird. You
Yeah, just-
weird boy.
Says the guy with tits. Now,
Yeah.
That's because I'm fat.
Oh, for
You got
God's
those
sakes.
big fat titties. Come on, Wallace, read for Boatin for us.
KingK, I am so sorry. Anyway, we have
I
Bone with
love it.
$5. Boys,
Fuck my wife.
Jesus Christ.
Boys, I need you to relay a message for me. Jamal Simmons, I love your super chats. Will you marry me? I'm Aro?
A romantic.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
a romantic. And will not at all be romantic, but hey, why not?
There
That
you
would be
go.
so cute.
Our
Could you
first
imagine?
proposal via super chats.
Congratulations, you can get the legal benefits of all of that cringe.
Now, King K, you've got quite a meaty super chat to read here for us with Akashoden.
Oh yeah. Akashoden. Wow. Oh, 50. I was like, oh, what? I was like, where is this leading? I did not read the number. Oh wow. That's a lot.
Are you able to read the rest of it? Oh, there is none.
There
Oh,
is none.
How unfortunate.
I don't know why there's not a message.
It's because
but,
AKA Shoden is a yogurt male who doesn't need to be heard, will only give.
I love just
Sounds like
hearing
Nick
Nick in the
is,
background talking.
Nick's got the window cleaners over, and he's like,
We're just getting our little bits of information on Nick's background life.
You're fine. Guys,
It's
I'll be
weird.
right back. I have to
Oh, we
check
know.
something with my contractor.
We know.
it's weird hearing Nick being a functioning adult.
It is.
Okay, so shall we just continue then?
Yeah.
Aiden F. Okay, so Aiden F sends $10 and says, Sonic walks into a grocery store and is weirded out. People care about his grocery habitat. Walks out furious because they don't have Nick milk, but Sally always has some. What the fuck, Aiden? Happy Friday, everyone. What the fuck?
You know, I think I realized what I bring to this podcast. It's corruption.
Yeah, we put that together a while ago, man.
All right, well, Suris, do you want to read for Xander?
Sure, I'll go ahead and do that. Xander Johnson Carr, thank you for the very generous $50. Before you end your show, riddle me this before you go. Soon to be in a nursing home with a nook and nappy, this sad little man is ashamed he's so happy.
Is it me? Wait, do you guys know what a nappy is?
I don't,
What?
actually.
It's a diaper.
Oh.
Were you?
Oh.
Is it Nick? Because he's old.
He is quite old. He's really fucking old, isn't he?
I don't get
He's
it.
got facial hair and everything.
Yeah, that's what happens. He gets hair on the face and he loses it in the top.
Let's try and Google this. I'm gonna Google it.
Jeez.
Soon to okay, first it comes up, how often should nursing homes change diapers?
I also see something called Angela's Ashes, which confuses me.
When you're ready for your baby to sleep through the night, you'll want these no-fail strategies to gently wean your baby off of night fit. Okay, don't think that's the answer.
I don't think it is either.
Is there an answer?
I don't.
Oh no,
Xander, we need help. We can't we can't Google it. We can't do what Batman canonically does to beat the Riddler.
Come drive. Okay, Xander, if you're here, but if you're not here, let us know next week what the answer to that is, because I'd like to know.
Next one we have is from Wayne.
Yeah, we have certified nobody with $1.99. When is Tamers 12345 coming in the podcast?
I don't know who that is.
We don't want to get pregnant. We require
I don't know
protection.
who that is.
Let's look them up. He's an American YouTube animator. He's well known in the Sonic community due to his fascination with Sonic Underground, Sonic X Bartleby, Bardonic in particular. He's got a little robot costume, and it's made of cardboard. He looks like a funny guy. Let's have a look.
Well, I think we don't need to be doing more research on it live on a podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
he loves it. So, oh my goodness, this video thumbnail. We need to research this. You need to look at this YouTube thumbnail, dude. This is incredible. Okay, check the back room.
Oh my god.
Oh. What?
All right. Okay.
Okay, I'm done with that. Anyways, next one could be KingK if you want to pull us out of the insanity.
Sure. Sonic bot. Thank you for the $5. I just hope Prime doesn't end up as a generic 3D kids show, like what happened with Pac-Man. I agree, but it will probably end up feeling that way sometimes.
Can
if I had to guess.
Does anybody remember the Pac-Man Christmas special?
No.
No.
Was that a fever? That can't have been a fever dream.
No, you're just fucking old.
I don't remember.
Well, I guess when Nick comes back from being dead.
All right. Well, Pup.
Yeah, what? Oh, right, yeah. Way past Cool Kid.
All right, I'm back.
Way past Cool Kid sends $4.99. Hi, Nick. I just want to hear each one of you say this as fast as possible. Wumple, pumple, fumple, dumple. Wumple, fumple, wumple, pumple, fumple, dumple. Thank you for
I'm glad I didn't miss that.
Thank you for entertaining my stoner ass as much as you'll do. Sure thing.
Said each of us.
I smell marijuana.
There's we'd have to leave. King, I'm so sorry. I know you want to be a part of this, but like each of us could say each like a word as fast as possible.
That would be cool.
That would be. Oh dear.
I mean,
all right. You want to start with
it?
No. Why doesn't KingK do the hyphens?
God, no.
Let's do it. All right. So
Wumple,
pumple,
fumple,
double.
We need to do it
We're
faster.
horrible.
We need to do it faster. Okay. Right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wumple.
pumple,
fumple.
Double.
I'm
We
still
need-
hearing a
wait.
1 second delay. We need
It's because
to
there's a
really-
delay on Discord. You have to
It doesn't-
you have to predict.
All right.
By the way, I can do the whole thing real quick.
Wayne is vomiting.
Okay. All right. One more. You want to try it again?
Okay, yeah. Try and preempt when it's going to end. Okay, so come in on the pull, I guess. Okay. Wumple.
Applesauce. Ah, shit.
Fuck.
I'm going to die. I want death. I'm allowing
There's
it now.
applesauce everywhere.
I'm glad Ginger Bob remembers the Pac-Man Christmas special.
Oh God. All right. Evil Dalek.
No.
With 449 pounds. No,
you
for God's sakes, we got a guest in our house. We need to.
There's another one.
You did
You've got another one
skip
above
one,
it,
you
you
did skip
fucking imbecile.
Oh, a way past cool kid. Oh, I did.
Yeah.
All right. Did y'all seen the Thankies vlog with more of his Sonic voice in the cute little plush intro? I am going to assume they were talking about.
Mac.
I saw a little bit of it. Yeah, it was fun. I welcome the new takes on legacy characters, new cast type. Yeah, if they're consistently or they're going to be perpetual teenagers, I think you need to be willing to swap out voices on occasion. I mean, we've done 4 of them here in America, for crying out loud.
Hell yeah, Milk Bros forever.
I choose
Suris.
death. The Evil Dalek, thank you for the 449 pounds. Can't see today's stream, so just wanted to say hi to my favorite podcasters on a train. So happy Friday, Wayne, Suris, KingK, Nick, and Mickey Mouse.
I'll fucking kill you.
I'll fucking murder your whole family.
You want to fuck my wife, Goofy?
Jesus. King's never going to speak to us ever again after this.
I vibe with the energy.
Hooray!
All right. Wayne, your turn.
Okay.
Elite Tricks with $5.
Or is it
Wayne.
Elatrix?
Is it?
You got it, Wayne.
Elatrix with $5. Devin Mac sounds good. Sounds good, Sonic, and I can't wait to hear more. But what if Josh Keaton, the voice of Spectacular Spider-Man, voices Sonic?
I would not hate that at all. I loved his take on Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Be very close to Roger, I'd imagine. But
What I would love more than that is the writing team of Spectacular Spider-Man on Sonic. I would not hate that either.
I would love to see Spectacular Spider-Man like wrap up.
I would not hate that.
I would too. I would love that.
Best Spider-Man show, in my opinion.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
It's good stuff. Highly recommended.
It's good.
King, do you like the Spidery Men?
Yeah.
You like the Spooder Dooder?
I must admit that I'm not like super into like a lot of the shows or anything. It's mostly just from the movies. But I really love them.
If you like the movies, you might like what they do with Spectacular.
Yeah, I've been wanting to check it out at some point because I heard good things about it.
It's some good shit. I mean, I know a lot of people put praise on the '90s show, and it's got very good merits. But I mean, it's hard to recommend that to somebody who didn't grow up in that era with that stuff.
It's very corny, the 90s one. I like it. It is corny.
I think Spectacular, they generally went out to make like the best version that they could make out of that, and I think they pulled it off quite brilliantly.
There's a very clear love for the comics as well, but like I also like how they mimic frames from like the Raimi films before them as well.
Yeah, I'm still gonna forever love what they did with the merger of the Raimi black suit and the comic black suit ideas. So, where were we?
We're on KingK on Boatin.
On Boatin?
No, on Way Past Cool Kid. Why can't any of you people read?
No, we can't. We're awful at it.
We just can't read Way Past Cool Kid.
My excuse is that I have to keep throwing in new super chats, and it throws off my scrolling in the current ones. So, you know, because it auto scrolls.
So let King talk now, Wayne.
Okay.
Thank you for the $20. Way Past Cool Kid. Would any other version of the character do this? In quotes and a question mark. This is how I approach the movie's depictions of the characters from the games. It's led me to be rather satisfied with the film. It truly saved the flossing scene for me.
You know, I can imagine Boom Eggman flossing, but I can't imagine Core Eggman flossing.
I can imagine 06 Eggman doing it, I'm not going to lie.
What?
Yep. Mainly because he's got the frame to do it successfully.
Fuck's your problem?
Everything, apparently, according to my therapist.
Okay, we can talk about that another time. A lot to unpack there. Okay, so Boatin with $5. Can't wait for Sonic 3, where they show the bullet and the body. Hashtag cap that kid. Make it trend, baby.
I'm so proud of this community.
Me too. Me too. Boatin with $5. Nick giving off the big bottom vibes with his presence of Amy's personality. Oh wow. Well, no. but I get it.
That Amber Heard, she knew what she wanted, and she went and got it.
People are trying to canonize my sexuality and preferences a lot. I've noticed. Actually, for a lot of us, now I'm thinking about it.
That's
Could just
just
be
the
pop.
life of podcasters.
Gee, I have no idea what that must be like.
Or it could just be when anytime I hang out in Suris's chat rooms. It's
Probably. It's
a lot of
probably all my fault.
a lot of delinquents following your show, man.
Oh no, they're degenerates. That's yeah,
Deviants.
110%. There is no escaping
okay.
that.
All right, Suris, your turn.
Next one we have is from Go Kenji.
Yeah.
We have 5 Canadian high fives. Neat.
A new yogurt mail? Or was that one of those
Is it better
emojis?
Can we just get that freaking comparison shot? Is it better than Alpha?
Was that one that had a emoji next to it? Because we've had a few with like emojis of like donuts and shit.
No, there's no emoji on this one. Oh wait, no, this one might have had
I think
this had a
there
sticker.
was one. There was one, but it doesn't transfer over. It's hard to.
Yeah,
Well,
this is one of the
why
ones that
I
has
would
like a sticker.
usually. That's why I would usually write what the sticker was. But Wayne, you just go ahead and be a slacker, mate. You fucking. It's fine, man.
It's okay. No, it's totally fine.
Your paid time off
you
definitely
contribute
won't
fucking
take-
nothing to.
I
do all the work.
I
here.
contribute nothing. You wanted to do the work. You
God
took my
damn it.
job. That was today, Wayne. Today.
They took it. They stole it from me.
They stole it from me, Carmine.
Anyway, we got Aki Dave with $1.99. Sonic Prime. Finally, I can get my stuff on time.
For fuck's sake. I hate that that rhymes as well.
It took me until you started giggling about it for me to actually get that. And I will have
He
to
is old,
vehemently
okay.
disagree because I've certainly not gotten anything on time.
With Amazon
From-
Prime.
Yeah.
Well, but if it was Sonic Prime, because Sonic's fast.
Amazon Prime's pretty good in the UK. I don't know how it is in the US.
Pick up on the joke, you old man.
Shut up.
I'm glad I live so close to Atlanta. I generally have no problems with Amazon. They have warehouses like right near me.
That reminds me, Suris, we got to go to the Fan Fest.
Okay.
Man, I'm so glad I live in the UK. That's just great. I definitely wouldn't want to move or anything.
Yeah, I'm taking you with me when we go to the Sonic Fan Fest, so you just have to deal with it.
Fine.
Also threatening. I'm taking you with me.
Fine. I guess I am your little Yankee. Come here.
Oh, for God's sakes. King, do you go to any conventions?
I've been to MagFest, and this was like, I was really getting into it before,
Yeah.
they all shut down.
yeah.
But
Right.
but I went to like MagFest, and I was at E3 too, and there's like some local
nice.
conventions because I live near Detroit, so there's some like
Oh.
YomaCon or whatever.
I got you.
I want to go now that they're opening up again. Might
Yeah,
go.
Gilly's convinced me to go to Too Many Games next month. That was
Mhm. I might be going there.
pricey. Well, hey, hope to see you there. Wayne, I'm seeing you there, aren't I?
You are, yeah. You guys are the reason I'm going up there. So
Gilly's
yeah.
convinced me to go as well.
Yes!
Oh no, I'm just gonna be here by myself. You gotta get me on a
fuck you, pup.
You gotta get me on like an iPad or something.
Get
Like,
over here sooner.
when you guys get your picture all taken together, one of you guys gotta be holding up like a phone or something with my picture on it. All right, fine. I'm not necessary. I get it.
I'm gonna bring my dog
You're
put a hat on it.
You're
I will talk it to
necessary
it.
in our hearts. And on Fortnite.
I'm just gonna turn over to my dog right now and then be like, "Shut the fuck up, pup!" And I'm going,
Are you gonna go full on Eustace Bags on Pup?
right?
You stupid dog!
That Wayne
Booga,
wasted.
booga, booga.
Why is everybody always trying to get me drunk? I don't understand this.
Wait, so when is
2022?
too many games again?
I think I've
Too Many Games is June 23rd to the 25th.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to make that then because my graduation ceremony would be in like July.
Yeah, like no, we're gonna do some fun stuff. There's gonna be some Sonic centric stuff coming up at a couple months too. When is Portland Retro Game Show? Because that's gonna be closer to us. I'm looking that up right now. let's see, Retro Gaming Expo.
Like how one of my channel artists just messaged me going, "I have the Pac-Man Christmas special on VHS, and it's older than you." like it is.
That's actually older than me, so good job. Well done.
Thank you,
All
Padilla.
right.
You found
That's in
some older
October,
than
so
me.
we're going to that pup. We're going to that for sure.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I think whenever we tried to do the one that was like over in Georgia, I'm just gonna take like a train or something over there. I do not trust my car to make that trip.
Well, and
Well,
if
no, this is
whenever you pop
You
over
could-
here,
you
I can
could-
literally just pick you up and bring you to my place.
Yeah,
This is
that'll
actually
work.
really good though, because it means that if you guys meet each other before you meet me, it means I get all the attention.
I mean, technically, I guess that's true. If you want to view
Yeah,
this like a family Christmases thing,
I feel like this is how he would plot in the womb
yes.
if he was like the youngest sibling.
I
If
am
I
more
come
youngest
last,
sibling.
I can do all the horrible things.
Where were we on these super chats?
We have next up, we have Lederic. Lederic.
And that's
Who's reading
KingK.
it?
Okay. Thank you very much, Lederic, for the $50. It's a lot.
That is he never actually says anything, but yeah, thank you.
He's
Well,
also
Leonard has said
become a
something
real
like once or twice.
he's a real yogurt male when
He's
he,
the-
just fucking sends in $50 without any words.
The owner of the esteemed Sonic the Hedgehog non-fungible token.
The Sonic NFT.
God damn it.
I'm
God, what
again.
a
It
guy.
only
Another
costed
thing
one
that
Amazon
started from the
rainforest.
show that nobody knows where it came from.
Yep.
And it just makes me so happy.
So Jerome McCalla sends in 179. What a weird number, but thank you. Sonic Prime looks like it was made in Source Filmmaker. Thoughts? I can kind of see it, yeah.
We did kind of give our thoughts on that.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch Sonic Gary's mod.
Meh.
I would love that show. Are you kidding me? Like, who's that dude who does a bunch of weird shit on like Moose something like that?
There's Belena.
Oh, I know who you're talking
Productions
about.
used to do
It's
it.
not
It's
Brutal
like-
Moose, obviously, but man, I really am satisfied with Brutal Moose moving on to more food related stuff. His editing's just so fucking satisfying. Anyway, yeah, Phoenix with 2 pounds. Can't stay long, but take my money now. Well, thank you,
Gladly. Thank you, Phoenix.
Suris.
What the fuck?
That Jordo for thank you for the $4.20. That is a sandwich. That is a sandwich.
Oh,
We got,
Where I come from, everything's a sandwich, but that right there is like the platonic sandwich.
we've got Smacko with 10 pan. All members of Sunset City are looking at each other while they speak, but Pup is doing bedroom eyes to the chat.
I think we're all kind of looking at the
how can you
viewer.
say that? Suris is looking at the viewer. Nick's just looking in front of him, and Wayne is just cross-eyed.
Yeah, me and
KingK.
Pup are both doing the DreamWorks smirk at the
KingK
camera.
just doesn't fucking have any eyes.
Look, KingK is just sitting here like one of those old like cartoon serial killers where they just speak over just an emblem that they have on the TV that they hijacked recently.
It does fit very nicely into the monitor, I must admit.
It
The
does.
Riddler.
Yeah, it's my
Anyway.
evil broadcast.
Yeah.
He's come to make an announcement.
All right, whose turn? Is it King's? Or is
I
it-
don't know how we're even keeping track of it, to be honest, but
Oh, we've
if
been
it is mine, I can read it.
Did Wally read the last one, or?
I did.
Yeah, then it is
Oh.
Kings. It's basically just
Right, yeah.
from left to right, and then you're technically in the middle, but pretend you're to the right of Wayne. Is
Okay,
usually how we go about it.
So we get Xander Johnson Carr. Thank you for the $10. I've been sitting on my opinion on this, and I finally want to say it. Shadow the Hedgehog is my favorite Sonic game. Not a joke, not a meme. I have replayed it more than any other, and it's a blast.
Is it a
To be
3D
fair,
blast?
Xander, like Sonic R is very high up my list in terms of favorite Sonic games. And if it counted, I would include Sonic World from Sonic Jam as one of my favorite Sonic games of all time.
We need to introduce Xander to Twilord.
Oh, yes, because Twilord fucking loves Shadow the Hedgehog.
Twilord's doing a whole project revamping that entire game, Project 06 style.
I know.
Jesus, it's a match made in heaven.
Goodness gracious.
Do you
All
think
right,
they
Pup.
might be into each other, maybe?
What did you post here, Pup? What am I looking at?
Oh, that,
Finally found it.
that has something to do with one of the super chats asking if we would collab with someone or get them on the show, and that was one of their
who is
video
this?
thumbnails.
I need to
I think
absorb everything they make.
Tamer12345, I believe, is the name.
Amazing.
Okay, so anyways, we've got a super chat from Where's Arnold with $99.99. You're fucking psychotic with these super chats, guys, but thank you. Here is the canonical price. Now, all of you say ooh woo now.
Oh god, they literally, it's extended that far away from my channel and I want to die.
You said out loud last week the canonical price, and I'm never going to let you live that fucking down. I think a lot of our like goofy things that we could put on t-shirts are out of your mouth accidentally.
I did say while you were gone that I think I figured out what I bring to Sunset City, and it's corruption. I ruin everything.
Just say ooh woo already.
Fine.
Ooh.
Wayne,
Ooh woo.
can we get one out of you, KingK?
I just
Ooh.
realized, like when I left for a little while there, that my contractor's been here finishing up the bathroom the whole time we've been screaming at each other. I wonder how well that, because I usually am in the house by myself when we do our show. So I have to wonder what that had to sound like.
I was saying to Suris when you were talking to the contractors, like, it's weird hearing Nick be a functional adult.
You guys can hear me from over there?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, nice.
We heard you go into the contract going, you want to fuck my wife?
Pup, I wonder how comfortable we will be in our friendship before we start making those jokes while you actually know who my wife is.
That's going to be so weird now, isn't it? Like, it's going to completely ruin everything.
I just wonder if like you can make those jokes when you see her face.
Just tell her to leave.
Is this where Nick just has to post like, it's me, I'm the wife?
This is the Nick divorce arc.
Oh God, no.
John, I want a divorce. Divorce.
Oh God. All right.
Dear John.
Well, Mr. Krabs with $4.99. Suris, I finally beat SA2 last night, and even if the final story was difficult and I did rage quite a few times, I still like the game regardless. Yeah, that's a powerful ending. I feel like that's a big reason why that game resonates so well with people. Like the beginning and ending of that game really goes hard. Really, really, really hard.
Dude, the whole game is just explosive and iconic.
I can't wait.
remember mixed stages in a pyramid, and I politely disagree, but
The pyramid's just cool.
It's more good than bad in my opinion.
The pyramid cave is literally my favorite level.
With the mechs?
No, you dimwit. The fucking Sonic one.
Yeah, I was talking about the mechs.
Talk about the Sonic pyramid.
Actually,
But
really-
the mech one was cool too.
I actually really like the pyramid level for the. I like Eggman's more than Tails. Eggman's feels okay, but Tails' feels kind of by comparison.
I think they're both great, and I like the music. It gives me a vibe of things are happening, man, you know?
There are no good mech levels in Sonic Adventure 2. Anyway, next super chat.
Oh, yeah, you say that so matter-of-factly. Why don't you get a fucking Twitter account, Wayne?
All right. Suris, your turn.
All right, and this one, I love how you did the one addressed to me, and I have to do the one addressed to you now.
Yeah.
Boaton, thank you for the $5. Nick, I would like to specify, I'm not trying to canonize your sexuality. I'm just being a hypocrite. I do not want to force anything on anyone.
Don't be a coward, Boaton.
Did I tell you guys that I got an email from somebody who thought I was gay and thought I was like a gay representative?
I saw
think you
that.
told me.
Yeah.
I think I told you guys privately because, yeah, I was just trying to be like polite in my response, being like, well, I'm not.
I'm not gay.
I just don't have a problem with it, and I will make jokes about Sonic and Shadow banging out or Tangle and Whisper. I don't care, but I'm married. I'm sorry, but don't get the wrong idea there. It was very much like that same energy Pup was giving us like last week when he was trying to clarify he wasn't gay.
He's married to a woman. A woman.
Nobody like it just kept going, and like last month they out of the blue emailed me again. It was like, "Are you sure?" Like,
Well, the thing is, Nick, you've got evidence of your heterosexuality. I got nothing.
I don't
fucking
really
nothing.
care though.
I'm a virgin.
It was just a very weird thing to get in a private email, being like,
Don't do it.
"You
Don't do
sure?"
it.
I'd be like, let's not. We're not having this conversation. This is weird. This
Are
is
you
weird.
sure you're not gay?
What's today?
Hey, you want to fuck my husband?
I mean, to be honest,
Today's Friday. Not today. No.
only on Wednesdays.
My dudes.
If the schedule allows.
Wednesday is Willy Day.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Why do you think I want you here, Pup?
Man, this conversation.
Oh no! Oh, it's a virgin, please.
Oh. Anyway.
So we got Aki Dave with $1.99. Wayne needs to do a meme picture with Scott the Woz. Oh, I fully intend to. I hope that we actually make contact so we just completely unravel the fabric of the universe.
Got the Wayne.
Make contact. It sounds like you're talking about an alien insurrection.
I'm
Dolphin.
not convinced he isn't.
For God's sakes.
He could be an alien android clone, just made to look like me.
Right. That's. I don't know who's older between the two of you.
It's me. I was here first. So
There
I
you
do
go.
not look like Scott the Woz. Scott the Woz looks like me. Fuck you.
I get that, Ben 10, you piece of shit.
Watney the Wazzle Thornton.
Scott the Wallace.
Gilly, I love this Gilly. If I go skiing on the weekend vacation, does that make me a skier?
Coming to my house? Suck my dick? Call me gay?
Jesus
Oh, God.
Christ.
Well, guys, I think that's gonna wrap up our show. Pup, what are you up to these days?
Yeah. I did a video at one point, and I intend to do another soon.
Well, there you go. Suris, how about you?
I have another one of those awful freaking Sonic fan, not even a fan animation. I don't know what to call what that was, but I'm going to be going into that again. And then also I've got the Archie deep dive starting as well.
Fair enough. Wayne.
Well, my last video ended up performing a lot better than I thought it would. So I was happy about that. I'm working on the Sonic 3 Knuckles video. I'm not giving an ETA on that because the video is just big, and also I'm gonna be getting a booster shot next week, and I'm probably gonna be incapacitated for a couple of days. Add that on top of my typical work schedule, and I just don't have a lot of time to throw at this, but I've got big plans for the video, so it'll get done when it gets done.
I really enjoyed your video on that game because 3D Squelton likes balloons.
Oh my god.
I thought the video was nice and relaxing. We watched it on stream the other day.
Oh,
It's
did
good
you?
stuff.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I went in and gave you a shout out on there, and hopefully got a couple more subs out of it.
Yeah, I mean, we actually just hit like 6.3 this morning, so that might have been what helped give it that that little extra boost. Because I was wondering, like, where out of nowhere just started getting views. I was like, what the hell happened here?
Well, if you want to continue down that arc dink hole, let me know. Let me know, because I'd like to help your video out if you do any more of those. Oh, TinderX.xyz adult dating site. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what a charming website.
Amazing.
God, imagine what it's like to not exist. Oh, you don't have to anymore.
So wholesome.
So, yeah, I've not released a video in like nearly a month, and it's not been going great just because I decided to help out my old hotel because they were desperate for people, and it's been throwing me off desperately. But thanks to sponsorships, I do have to get 2 videos out this month at the very least. So the Ninja Turtle video will be coming sooner rather than later. So stay tuned for that. But KingK, what are you up to these days?
Well, I just released the Sonic Advance video. And this month I'm working towards a Kirby video.
Oh,
Sort of similar to my Metroid video where I go over like my thoughts on all the mainline games. Obviously, they're not all 40 minutes each. That's just like, because that would kill me. But,
yeah.
you know, it's kind of like a how has Kirby evolved. And it's apt because I'm trying to release it on the 25th, which is when I released my Squeak Squad video, which was my first one in like 2015. Nice. So, yeah.
That's really cool. All right, guys. So, yeah, if you somehow have not heard of KingK or have not subscribed to his channel or seen his stuff, please be sure you do that. It's an honor having you on, sir. Thank you so much for joining us today.
There's a link to
really
his
fun.
channel in the description. If you guys have not clicked on it already, what are you doing?
Yeah. But yeah, guys.
Sorry, actually, one second. Because a friend of ours actually just uploaded a video like 2 hours ago.
Oh, that's right. Gilly was releasing it today, wasn't he?
Yeah. It's
The Sonic one?
Yeah, it's the obscured Sonic handheld games.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I'm just gonna throw that in the chat real quick too.
Yeah,
That's awesome. We have amazing friends doing amazing things. So guys, please go support them because we certainly love making stuff for you. So thank you all for joining us this day on Sunset City. Train has come to a stop, and I don't know. We have never figured out how to end this show, have we?
No, we haven't. Usually it ends in a train crash, but that's off screen.
Or just like right in the middle of a